Well, hey there, everybody, and good evening. Hope you're having a great day, and I hope that you're ready for a great stream. Okay, happy Saturday. We're going to be talking about the Kylie Rodni case, and there's some things that have been happening that I wasn't really up to date on that I want to talk about. And people in the comment section, even before I started the stream, were like misinterpreting what I was saying, and I just hate that. Hang on a second. Okay. What I want to do is talk about how somehow, like in the middle of the night, there was like a false alarm about a black box inside of Kylie's car that was released, and it came out to be fake news. So, if you're wondering what the title is, partly about fake black box that was found in Kylie's car. That's what it's partly about. And so, I want to talk about that. And then I have spent some time looking at those spots on the back of Kylie's car, and we had talked about, was his car pushed in by possibly somebody, and then there's only really one truck that we knew of that was at the party, and because that person made some TikToks. Well, I talked to that TikTok truck driver. I don't think he has anything to do with this, and I didn't ever really think he had anything to do with it to begin with. But I do want to share my conversation that I had with him and sort of how I ended up having a conversation with him. And it was because I went on Zav Girls panel last night, and we started talking a little bit about all of that stuff. So there's a little bit of the rundown. There's a few other things that I want to talk about. There's some of Plunder's video that I want to play and talk about because she's been in conversation with one of the family members in Kylie's family. And there's some information there that I want to be able to talk about. So I think I found that to be really interesting. So there you go. Lots of good things to talk about. Okay. Hope you're doing well. I'd love to know where you're watching from. I'm coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee. Beautiful city. It's a little too wild for me here on Friday nights and Saturday nights. Even on during the daytime. It's a little wild for me. A lot of people. Too much partying. Hey, Tim in Florida. Good to see you. Cindy said she got the book. Can't wait to read it. Oh, yeah, guys. If you didn't know, I do have a great book called Don't Stop, if you're interested in it. I was so tired today, too. Iowa, how are you? Great to see you. Deb. Hey, Barb in Periville. Hey, Heidi in Madison. Hey, Julie in Sacramento. Julie, since you live in Sacramento, do you ever go to Truckee? Do you go to Lake Tahoe? I know people go to Lake Tahoe like crazy. I've never really heard of people going to Prosser before. Hey, Elizabeth in Northern Ireland. Great to see you. Hey, Miss Linda, you said go Bucks. I'm watching Ohio State beat Toledo at halftime. Go Bucks. Karen in New Hampshire, great to see you. Hey, Amy in Kentucky. Raven in Virginia Beach. Is it beautiful there in Virginia Beach? I've never been. I've been to Virginia, but never Virginia Beach. Hey, Elizabeth in St. Louis, great to see you. Dr. Edward, great to see you. Renee says, starting the train. Does anybody want to hop aboard a super sticker train just to start off the stream? It is a good way to start. I'll tell you that much. Actually, it's a great way to start. So thank you, Renee, for starting the super sticker train off with us. How many do you guys think we should do? Michigan. Hey, Pez. Great to see you. Is it Pez Dispenser or different Pez? Springfield, Missouri. That's where I went to college at. Sweet Irish girl. Missouri State University. Hey, Kristen. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great day. Amy. All right. Thank you for that super sticker. Ricky Lynn says 100. Oh my gosh. You guys think we can do 100 super stickers in 1 hour and 30 minutes? That'd be a record. Kristen, thank you for your super sticker, Kristen. Appreciate you. Number 2, hey Patty. Number 3, Deb. Number 4, Renee says 50. That seems a little more doable. You're number 5, Renee. You want to do 50 super chat, super stickers in 20 minutes? Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in too. If you're brand new here, my name's Tyler Feller. This is our channel. We cover true crime missing person cases 5 days a week. 1 day a week, we take the day off and we spend time looking from a spiritual perspective. And so that's what we do on Fridays. We call it Faith Friday. Yesterday, I talked about what happens after you die. And so if you're interested in what could possibly happen to you after you die, I would encourage you to go back and watch the stream that I gave last night. So super cool. Hey, Athena. Thank you for that. You're number 6. Appreciate you. Hey, Raven. Virginia Beach is pretty. Glad I'm off to watch tonight. I was proud of you. You stuck with us last night for a while. You said, glad I'm off to watch tonight, LOL. God bless you, Tyler and Feller Fam. Oh, well, bless you. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for your super chat. Appreciate it. Hey, Tim. You're number 7. Appreciate it. Hey, Kim, number 8. Good to see ya. Feeling Coopish, 1010. Number 9. It's good to see ya. Heidi Joy, number 10. Great to see ya. Jackie, number 11. Dee Dee, number 12. Hey, Sheila, great to see you. Number 13. Angela, number 14. Great to see you. Andrea, number 15. You guys are awesome tonight. Thank you so much for your support. Julie, here for it. All the way up to 17 already. You guys are awesome. Took me by surprise. You guys took me by surprise already. Really appreciate it. Hey, Elizabeth. Hope you're having a great day. And what do you guys think happened to Kiely? Would you put it in the would you guys put it in the poll if you haven't answered it? Put it in the chat. Accident, foul play. What unanswered questions do you have? I think that's really important. I have some unanswered questions. Julie, number 19. Great to see you. Wait, no, I already did yours, I think. Raven, number 19. Good to see you. We've already talked some, but thank you for your super chat again. Really appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. 20. Hey, Lacey Ann. Annabelle, great to see you. Twyla says, count your blessings, name them one by one. Well, you're number 22, so I'll count that. MJ, hope you're having a great day. It's good to see you. You're number 23 as we're counting our blessings one by one. Kristen Bird. Kristen, I'm glad you're on here. Hope you've had a great day. You're number 24. Doreen, great to see you. Amy, great to see you. 26. Tay says, foul play by far. Foul play by far. Yeah. 27. Foul play by far. Thank you, Kristen. Kristen, did you get the tie-dye shirt? You should have gotten it by now. I ordered it the next day, but sometimes those shirts take a while to make. $28, $29. Hey, Christopher, hope you're doing well. Barbara, great to see you. Glad you're here. Hey, Yolanda, welcome to the Feller fam. Glad to have you. Preston Tilley, what's up? I don't know what's going on, but I love y'all. What's up, Preston? It's great to see you, man. Yolanda, 29. Great to see you. Yolanda the RN. You work in a hospital, Yolanda? Woo! Okay, Kristen, that's good. Glad you got it. You're number 30. You guys are amazing. I love the Feller fam so much. Appreciate you guys. William says, Tyler, I say foul play. You know what's interesting when I'm looking at the poll question The other day it was 96% of people who thought it was foul play and only about 4% who said accident. And so I'm interested, like, for those of you that think accident, there's 12% of you. You're gonna have to let me know. Why do you think it's accident? I mean, I'm okay with you thinking that. I just want to know why you think that. 31. Hey, Melissa McLeod. Great to see you. By the way, we at the beginning of the year set a significant goal, and we wanted to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we set a 1-year goal, and we crossed that threshold the other day. So it's just unbelievable for me. It was a huge celebration. And I just want to thank, if you guys hadn't been a part of the stream the past couple of days, where we took time just to honor the fact that we got our goal for the year. We did a celebration stream, all that. It was amazing. We hit the 50,000 subscriber mark, and it just blew me away. And so I just want to take a second and thank you guys for that. Perry says it was an accident that covered up. Some people think that. Some people think it was an accident that covered up. It looks like foul play. Rachel says, I'll be listening while I'm driving. God bless you, Tyler, and everyone. Yeah. So I just want to double check something, because does it seem like the chat's going kind of fast to you guys, or you think it's going the right amount of speed? I don't like to slow it down because I like to go back. I actually like to go back and watch, um, like, read the chat. And then when it goes too slow, I get bored. So that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, is it the right speed? It's when it's on subscriber mode only. Surprised all you guys are already subscribers. But that's good. Okay, I wanted to sort of go through. Oh, Tyler, you want to know my PayPal, or Robert, you want to know my PayPal? Okay, I forgot to say that. Um, if you guys want to support on PayPal or Cash App or Venmo, you can give. PayPal is Tyler Feller, Cash App is $ Tyler Feller 22, or Venmo is at Tyler-Feller. I've had also a couple people ask me the past few days, like, how can we give if we have a card? And we're not set up on YouTube or whatever. If you go to tylerfeller.com/give, there's a little button right there. If you click it, what it will do is it will give you an opportunity to help give through card that way. So there you go, Robert. Hey, Purple Glitter Tears extending a challenge to first. Yeah, that's great, Purple Glitter Tears. By the way, you're number 32. Yeah, if you guys have never sent a super chat or a super sticker, I do think it's important, not just on this channel, but on every other channel that you guys watch, even just to send, if you can do it. I know not everybody can, but if you can support a channel with a super sticker or super chat, it makes a big difference, because we're literally crowdfunded. And so we only survive if people like you want to get behind us and support. So that's just encouragement. We will celebrate if it's your first ever super chat. Be sure to let us know, but we'd love to be able to do that. Blessed in Texas, thank you for that. Miss Linda, thank you for that. Number 34. Number 34. Margaret says, do I have to go through PayPal to send you cash? Well, we do have an address if you want to mail something. It's in the description of this video. But if you want to give through like your debit card or something, you can go to tylerfeller.com/give. Thank you guys so much for your support. Jay, I saw your comment on my video about Adventures with Purpose, and I did not. Like, you said, I don't even know what coot and goo goot is. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I've never heard of those words. Hey, Mahalo Swords, thank you so much for your gift over on tylerfeller.com/give. I really appreciate that. I don't know what you're talking about, coot and goo to Adventures with Purpose. They specifically asked me not to talk about the Kiely Rodni case out of respect for the mom when they came on this show. So that's why I didn't ask any questions about Kiely Rodni. I did interview Doug on somebody else's channel where I asked very hard, difficult questions. And you seem to be the only person who was upset with my questions. In fact, my comment thread was like overran with people saying that they loved the way that I asked questions and thought that I did such a great job answering questions. So I think you just have a wrong perspective of what happened. And I'm giving you an opportunity through my graciousness in this moment to explain to you what I'm saying. I would just advise you that when you're on somebody else's channel, especially when it's that creator, to have some respect, have a little respect, because that statement isn't bathed in grace and it certainly doesn't feel respectful. Hey, Christopher, my first super chat ever today. Yeah, you and Grandma Patty making jokes together. She said, "Is it okay if it's not my first?" It is okay, Grandma Patty. You guys are 34 and 35. Jones number 36. Sherry's 37. Jones says, "Greetings from Old St. Lou." Yep, greetings to you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Lead with love. I don't know what you mean. You said you didn't need a truck guy. I posted that it was fake on his channel, but I also told him I knew why he posted it with software that's not being used. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about specifically there was a guy who was in a truck at the party. Like he was at the party that Kiely was out at. And part of the reason that we were talking about his truck because he's the only person we know that had a truck that was at the party. And we were looking at these two marks on Kylie's bumper under the water. And I just started saying, well, who had a big truck there? And then it's like, oh, this guy on TikTok had a big truck there. Maybe he's involved. And so I don't think he's involved at all. I had a conversation with him today, and I'm going to share that conversation with you guys. So that's, I just feel a responsibility to that because I sort of got in this place of having that conversation over on Zab Girl's channel last night. And so that's what I'm talking about. Oh, you said, oh, I thought you meant the crash data video. Oh, I didn't know anything about that. I was like in Lala World about it. But I do want to say, like, it's very inappropriate for people to be making up fake things. Respect Tyler, so I don't lose my Christianity for 2.6 seconds. With that said, I now repent. Avery, that's really funny. That's a funny one. Thank you for your support. You're 38. Renee got us going today. She hopped on the super sticker train and just said, anybody want to hop aboard? And man, we've been just flooded with support even at the beginning of the stream. And I just want it from the bottom of my heart, guys. Just know I really appreciate it. Appreciate your support. You said it was fake. He was just trying to win an argument. I see. That makes sense to me. I didn't know much about it, but I want to touch on it in just a minute. I want to read this article to you guys first. This is coming from The Sun, and as you guys know, The Sun comes up with all kinds of stuff and then reports on it. So, hey, Mama Barry, you said, hey, Tyler, I love this channel and the faith-based aspect. God bless you and your team. Thank you so much, Mama Barry. Are you in New Zealand? Is that what the NZ stands for? Thank you for your support. And yeah, we do take a faith-based approach. And some people really hate me on the internet for it. Other people really love it. And I would say probably at least half of you are here because that's the perspective that we have. So thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Donna says, my first super chat. Woo! Thank you, Donna, for your support. And would you guys just tell Donna thank you? And we're just going to just celebrate her. She's hopping aboard super chat, super sticker train for the first time ever. It's a big one. And we thank you so much, Donna. Thank you for your support and appreciate you so much. Your first ever super chat. That's a big deal around these parts. And so I honor you and I'm so grateful for you. Miss Michelle says, hi, Tyler. Happy Saturday to all. I spent the day kayaking and I'm spent. Hope everyone has enjoyed their day. Oh, I hope you had fun. I actually spoke at a detention center today. I got to share the gospel, and it was really powerful. It was really powerful. And so we went and we served sort of like the staff that work at this detention center with Chick-fil-A, and had an opportunity just to minister to them. And then it's a juvenile detention center. So um, individuals like age 12 to 17, I don't know what they're in there for. I don't know. I spent a lot of time with them. Um, we served them some food and stuff, and then they asked me if I would pray for them and share the gospel with them, and so it was really powerful. And I think like 5 or 6 of them made a decision to follow Jesus today, and then many others asked me to pray over them, and so they came forward, and I got to pray, just prayer of blessing over them, that whatever's happened to them or whatever they've gone through, um, that it's not going to hold them back when they're able to get out. And then there's one young man who's leaving, and so we got a chance to just pray a blessing over him. Also, I'm going to give them a Don't Stop book. Like they said that I could bring them Don't Stop books, and they'll give them to them. And I'm like, that's like a perfect book for people who have a lot of challenges that they're going through right now. I just want to thank you guys for your support, because you guys have been so generous. Like I feel comfortable being in a place where these books cost money, that I can just give these to those individuals at that place. So thank you guys for your support, and I appreciate it. You're so awesome. Okay. I'm going to read this article to you guys. Let's see. Web sleuths have spotted a crucial clue on the memorial service poster for the teen who was in the back of her submerged car. All right, let's go look at it. Yolanda says, wow, bless you for the children. They need a good role model. It was really powerful. I think they'll probably have me come back like some point. I don't know for sure, but I'd be willing to go back if they asked me to. And I don't even know how it works. Like, I don't know how you get permission to go preach the gospel in those environments. I don't think the individuals have to come. I think they can choose to come. Thank you, though, for just your encouragement and support of that. I used to do it all the time when I was a youth pastor. I used to go and like every other week would go and speak in those environments. I think it's important. 39. You're number 39. Thank you for your support. Okay. So let's look at this poster. It says Kiely May Rodni, September 1st to August 2022. Gathering to celebrate life, love, and community, September 10th, 2022, from 1 to 5 p.m. Truckee Regional Park. So there's her memorial poster. Her body was mysteriously discovered 2 weeks later at the back of her car in the Prosser Creek Reservoir after volunteer divers traveled to the area to help. Her mysterious death has raised a number of questions, with many speculating if there was foul play involved. And now online sleuths have stumbled upon a crucial detail in Kiely's memorial service poster. Retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer, who's a friend of this channel and this show, noticed that while the poster included the teen's date of birth, it did not include the date of death. She tweeted, okay, I just had a chance to look closely at the announcement regarding Kiely Rodni, and I find it extremely interesting that while her date of birth is denoted, her date of death is not. Twitter users were quick to present their own theories, with many suggesting that this happened to be due to the delay in Kiely's autopsy report. Police said the autopsy for the 16-year-old won't be released for months. A Twitter user questions waiting for full autopsy. Another one said, I don't find this to be interesting or suspicious at all. Can you imagine the amount of theories that would get tossed around if there was a date listed? To which the FBI agent replied, no, I cannot. I believe indicating no date is important, but that's what makes Twitter interesting. We all have our own beliefs. I really like Jennifer Coffindaffer. She said, someone else added, it's not too uncommon with an ongoing investigation. What is odd, though, that they've had enough time to collect physical evidence. So why hasn't the body been released for burial? The teen was missing for 14 days after a wild party by around 300 young people near Prosser. Local authorities and the FBI spent 2 weeks searching for her, but to no avail. Kylie's remains were eventually recovered on August 21st by Adventures with Purpose, who suspect foul play. Hmm. Okay. I didn't know that that Jennifer had tweeted that. I need to spend more time on Twitter apparently, and so I'm gonna pull up Jennifer Coffindivers uh, Twitter page. Naomi, thank you. You're number 40. Jen P says, "Hi Tyler, I'm new here. I'm loving your show. How do you get the book and do you sign them? Thank you for all you do." So you can get the book two ways. You can go to Amazon.com and type or Walmart.com or Target.com or BarnesandNoble.com or wherever you get books and type in Tyler Feller Don't Stop and you can get it that way. Or you can go to my website called TylerFeller.com and click on Don't Stop Book, and then um, I can do it that way, and then I'll mail it to you. And I do try to sign them, but I don't always remember. But this one right here is signed. So if you order a book today, then I'll send you this one, and it's already signed on TylerFeller.com. Click on Don't Stop Book. Thank you for your super chat. You're number 41. Oh, Bev says Ephesians 4:32. Bev, I hope you're having a great day, and I really appreciate your super chat. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as Christ has forgiven you. Thank you for that reminder. Really appreciate it. You were 42. Kristen, thank you. You're 43. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for your support today. Okay. Oh, another one. Actually, I think you're trying to get us to 50. I like that. 44. Appreciate it. Okay. I want to pull up Jennifer Coffindaffer's Twitter page. Here we go. See, I need to get a set my thing where I get alerts if Jennifer tweets. By the way, if you guys haven't subscribed to this channel, we'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. That is definitely a free way you can support us. So don't feel like you have to. But if you're interested in this type of content, we don't just cover this case. There's many other cases that we've been covering recently. We cover, if you're interested in lots of case coverage, then I would suggest for you to hit the like button. And by the way, too, guys, if you don't have that little notification bell turned on next to the subscribe button, you might not know when we're going live. And so go ahead and hit that notification bell, because some people just don't know when we're going live. Hey, boom, 45. Thank you. 46. Thank you. Deb. Hey, Nancy. 47. Hey, Patty. 48. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Okay, so she said, okay, this was yesterday. I just had a chance to look at the announcement regarding Kiely Rodni. I find it interesting. While her date of birth is denoted, her date of death is not. It's a great point. What do you guys think it could mean? 49. Kristen, 50. Did it, guys. Thank you so much. I've just been feeling a little under the weather lately, guys. That's how I keep drinking this water. Like my throat feels a little something, but almost out of water. So here's a comment that says, that's weird. I see they put August 22, but no date. Maybe they're waiting on everything to come back. What do you guys think it means? Do you think they're waiting? The fact, though, that they've at this point have already should have been able to process the body and release it for burial. Don't you guys think at this point? Hey, Cindy, 51. And the fact that they haven't released the date of death, I mean, it would be pretty easy to figure out. I've been like August 6th, right? It's like pretty easy to figure out. So they've had the body for a while now. They haven't released the body for burial. They haven't released the date of death. It makes the tow truck driver's story a little bit more believable. Jennifer Coffindaffer, who's used to working all of these cases, says she finds it extremely interesting. Okay, I agree with her. I find things she finds extremely interesting myself. Avery says she's been buried. I didn't know that, Avery. You're number 52, by the way, because we might actually get to the 100 thing that Renee mentioned. AAA guy was synonymous to tow truck driver is AAA. AAA is synonymous to tow truck driver in the confines of how we have this conversation. The reason people say tow truck driver is because Doug says in that Adventures with Purpose video, he said, well, I was in the towing industry too. And so everybody was like, oh, it's a tow truck driver. So that's why. And I keep saying it too. Should it be? We don't know when she died. Do most people put the date the person is recovered? Jennifer says it would be logical to post the date of August 6th if it was evident and believed she attempted to drive home from the party and accidentally drove into Prosser Reservoir. However, this wasn't indicated on the announcement. Unusual. I think we're all searching for truth and accountability. And guys, I want to talk about this too, because I understand from one perspective of how the folks in this town, for example, even Kiely's mom and family and everybody have been inundated by really negative comments on social media. I'm on social media doing these YouTube videos 6 days a week. I totally understand how challenging all the negative feedback can be. And then for a lot of that negative feedback to be about your daughter who's passed away and about you and you're in the middle of grieving. Plus, you have chosen to live in an area of the country that's somewhat isolated, that is sort of a getaway so people can shut out the world. And so it's like there's already a propensity to not want to be a part of that kind of thing. And so I understand why the mom's like, there's honor and silence from all of those perspectives. But I do believe in what Jennifer's saying here. We are all searching for truth and accountability. And since 88% of you, the last time I checked the poll, came out and said that you think that there's foul play, until we're down to the bottom of that, I don't know if there's a reason for us to stop our coverage of this case. Like, we're searching for truth and accountability. And the fact that there isn't a date of death listed makes me feel like they're suspecting foul play. I don't know that for sure, but that's my unction. You can think what you want. Go ahead and think what you want. That's my unction. It's not indicated. I think that's very unusual. So, Avery says, it's my understanding they had a private funeral. I didn't know that. That's... Do you know what cemetery or anything like that, Avery? Thank you for your super chat. You're 54. Hey, Christian, you're 55. Thank you. You're 55 years old. No, I'm just kidding. You're super sugar 55. If they say inconclusive Texas Bluebonnet, I think America will have a meltdown. Seriously. I think there'll be some melting down happening. Stewart says they would have to post their date of death as August 6, 2022 until the exact date is officially confirmed. Sandra says no, because according to the tow truck guy, he was called to a site by Kiely Rodni on August 7th to look at her car that wouldn't start. She was with mail. The car was in neutral, and that's the reason it wouldn't start. I think how she's found already indicates there was foul play. I wouldn't be surprised if her drink was spiked. She's not a heavy drinker or a drug user. She was this free spirit, but not a wild one. Somebody's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's no one's ever came out and said that other than the fact that she's clearly intelligent, was good at school." This person says, "I don't find this to be interesting or suspicious at all." Oh, Jen P, thank you for picking up that book. I'll get it out to you ASAP. Avery says, when I briefly spoke to her mom 2 weeks ago, she said they had her body back and were planning a private funeral. No releases to the public, family only. Okay, so that could possibly be why everybody's just making assumptions, but you don't know what cemetery. Yeah, you're the breaking news on that one, Avery. You're rocking my brain a little bit. I'm like losing my train of thought because I'm just like, well, whenever we find out what cemetery, I'm like, well, it's really insensitive to try to do that. And then it's like, so, okay, good information nonetheless, Avery. Thank you so much. Um, Deb says, why does everyone call the kids the teens? Plus, the town is called the community, plus, Sammy's running the show. I think I always use the term teens because it's an accurate depiction of their age. When you call someone who's 16, 17 years old a little girl, it misconstrues the maturity that she'd obviously stepped into. But when you call her an adult, it overinflates the fact that her brain's not fully developed yet. And so I just say teen. Plus, they called it teen to teen meetup. I think the anytime there's a group of people gathered together, it's called a community. We call what we do here on YouTube a community. So it's just unless I'm missing something that you're trying to say. Oh, Athena, good point. They do kind of feel like that to me too. She says they sound like scatter the ashes types. Good point. Actually, really good point. Do you know anything about that, Avery? Paula's talking about Joe Lissa. I want to know more, Paula. Uh, apparently she's likely abducted. This says her death is August 7th, and that's on some website. So Jennifer says, my question is, how do we know this is legitimate and issued by a family member? When it was fact checked, it came up as a family member. What does that mean? How do you fact check a website? But if it is August 7th, for example, it needed to be August 5th. I mean 6th. Okay, guys, I'm putting the link in the chat for Avery to explain to me what she's talking about. Guys, I fell asleep also. I almost didn't wake up in time to do the stream. I was watching Zav Girl stream. I got super sleepy and just was like, fell asleep. Now I'm awake, barely. Amy, thank you for that. super sticker. That's our super sticker train conductor. If anybody wants to hop aboard, really appreciate it. So what I'm saying is, if this is from the family, like this person's alleging on Twitter, and it's August 7th, that doesn't make sense because the logical thing, like Jennifer Coffindapper said, it would be August 6th, right? So then the tow truck story is even more and more and more and more believable. Gia says, "Oh boy, 23 minutes in, about $sign. Dot, 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 dot." Gia, if you don't want to be a part of this channel, if you don't like how I do it, you don't have to be here. And there's just a reality that is driven by what we do in the ministry that we have and how we choose to help people by doing super stickers and super chats. If you don't want to be a part of it, you don't have to be here. Hey, Avery.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yes, can you hear me all right?
Well, you know how my phone is. I can barely hear you, but it's okay. So the only reason that I called out there to the Lost Trail Lodge is because when after she was found, we had made a donation to the reward fund, and I was trying to figure out if it was coming back, if we could reroute it to Kylie's family, or what we were going to do. And that was my main reason for calling. We ended up sending it to Adventures with Purpose, but I had a very brief conversation with her mother, and she was not giving out very much information. And I had told this on Laura's live about 2 weeks ago, and her mom told me that they had her body back at the funeral home because they don't need to keep it like for toxicology. That's already all been sent off. And I know the autopsy portion has is done within, like 24, 48 hours. So they're just waiting on toxicology. And I asked her if there was going to be an announcement for a funeral, and she said it was going to be private, unavailable to the public, and it was going to be family only, but that there was going to be a celebration of life. And at that time, she said it was going to be for the public, but then I guess they changed that from what I seen. So that's the reason I spoke to her, and that's the reason I know what I know.
Did she mention like different ideas of like ashes?
I didn't even ask her, to be honest with you. I was very surprised when I called that I got her on the phone. It kind of surprised me, and I wasn't prepared. And I know she's grieving, so I didn't want to, ask her hundreds of questions. I just mainly was wanting to know because we really wanted to just reroute that donation to the family, but that was, the main thing for funeral expenses, and that's how funeral came up. And that's when, she told me what she told me.
Did
Aside
she
from
seem
that,
to did she seem to like want financial resources from the public or not at all?
no, she said that we could send it on to AWP whenever it came back, which, it came back pretty quickly. But no, she said that they didn't need it for funeral expenses or anything like that.
So she seemed to not be mad at AWP.
She didn't really say. Um, she really didn't have any kind of expression that I could even pick up on. Um, it was very brief, she didn't elaborate on much of anything. It was, I would say, probably a 2-minute conversation.
Did she add extra syllables to the end of every word?
Well, what I noticed is she enunciates the very, I don't want it, the very end of the last syllable of each word.
What do you think that's about?
I think it's just the way she speaks.
Yeah. Reminds me of like old school, like Pentecostal preacher.
Mhm. I that or I was thinking, maybe when she was younger, she went through speech therapy because I know with my kids, they went through speech therapy, and that was, one of the things that it wasn't to enunciate that harshly, but, they did emphasize on the enunciation, and so I was thinking maybe something along those lines. But I did notice that at the end of every word, I mean, it wasn't even a syllable, even if it's a word that ends with an E, she enunciates harshly that last letter.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Pentecostal preachers. So, well, that's
Yeah.
good information. I appreciate you sharing it. What are you thinking? Foul play, or did you? Where'd you wind up on all of it?
Well, I'm still so confused, to be honest with you. I, for the parents' sake, I keep wanting to lean more towards accident because I think it's easier. I don't know, it's easier to accept the death of of your child being an accident than being, a murder. But with everything people keep pointing out online, it keeps making me go back and question things. So I would say I am split right down the middle, 50-50, just totally Switzerland. I'm unsure. I don't know
Totally
which way I'm going.
Switzerland. You're like, I'm totally Switzerland. That's funny. I lean towards foul play. That's not where I did lean for a while. I was leaning accident. And I thought, there people needed to chill out, but as more and more and more and more things came out, I'm like, I still think there's a chance it could be an accident,
Yeah,
and
I had lost you for a minute there. Sorry.
I think there's a chance it could be an accident. And I'll show some text messages today that I had with a young man who was at the party, and I asked him what he thought happened, and he said accident, and he gives his reason why. And I think
Hmm.
you know we need to listen to the people who were there, but also there is some part of me that thinks the people in the community really want it to be an accident, because if it's not, it just means this media circus is driven out even longer. Someone amongst
Right,
them's a murderer. They're going to have to go through trial and all that stuff. So it's like it is easier and
right.
better for the locals if it just happens to be an accident.
Well, you know me, I get frustrated listening and I just start making phone calls. And so I think it was maybe 5 days ago, I called to Nevada County and I just asked them, can you verify if the tow truck driver is credible? And I was told yes. So I said, are you telling me his story and video and account is credible? Or are you telling me he's a credible person? Like this, like it actually happened that he went out to a vehicle and then they wouldn't give me any more information. I was like, dang it. I was so close.
Oh my
So
goodness.
so if it turned it's very hard for me to believe that Adventures with a Purpose would risk their whole reputation saying that they believe foul play, bringing this man on camera. Like, I feel like they have to have or seen something or know something to be so adamant about
Yeah.
this.
Well, they also think it's foul play
Yeah,
because of the way the body was found in the back hatch.
right, right. Which is, I asked Doug when he was on your channel. I said if 90% of victims or people that end up in this situation do float to the back, then what makes this different? And remember, he said that he couldn't give those answers. So it makes me feel like they've seen something more, they know something more that they're not allowed to tell us.
I'm glad people were super chatting questions about Kylie, because he specifically asked me not to ask him about Kylie.
Oh, I didn't know that. And I sent you, it's like, oh gosh, because I
That was
joined
good.
late. Yeah, I
So
joined late and I had no idea.
no, I never announced it. I never told anybody.
I did
I
get
was
my
just
window
following him.
breakers in the
He was like,
mail, and they don't send instructions.
well, they have a video I think you're supposed to watch.
Oh, okay, good. Because
I
I
don't
was wondering, I was been looking at them thinking,
know. Yeah. They have a video on their YouTube channel. I watched it.
wow.
I need to buy a window breaker. I haven't done it yet, but yeah, I want to buy maybe a couple of them. But uh, yeah, I think out of respect for the mom statement that she came out and said, he asked if we would not talk about Kylie whenever he was on and wanted to talk
Mhm.
about Melissa Fuentes instead.
Right, right. Totally understand that. I mean, it broke my heart to hear her mom plead, with the media. And
Yeah,
I think she's okay with people who are covering the case. I just think she's not okay with the people who are um
exploiting in the case.
well, they're accusing like the family and the
Yeah,
mom, and I think she's very concerned for the well-being of the other teenagers in the community. I
yeah,
think she's genuinely concerned for them, for their healing and everything. She
yeah.
made
I think the same thing.
Yeah, so that was just heartbreaking.
When people have taken it too far.
Mhm. And I
So
hope that she's getting some counseling or their family is getting some counseling because they seem like such a tight-knit family, and she seemed like the kind of mother to me, she seems like the kind of mother who would need some outside help to deal with it. And I just hope that, that she's doing that if she needs to.
do you
I've
think that
been
she's close to the dad?
I don't know. I don't know.
One
I
thing that
haven't
I
been
think
able
that
to
that
figure
Doug
that out.
said that no, I don't think anybody's talking about, but Doug mentioned that Kylie actually lived with the grandfather most of the time.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
But does the mom live at the lodge also? Because she answered when I called, so I assume she lived there.
I think so, but
And then the grandparents live at the lodge,
do they? Or do
or they don't. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think the lodge is that big.
Well, I was looking at it because it's for sale. Not that I can afford it, but it's like 1.3 billion. Wait, 1 point
Million.
something million. Yeah, I was looking at it, and I mean it's good size. It was not as big as I thought it was going to be, but I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. But there's just definitely something off and odd about
It's
it. And
pretty
if this
expensive to stay there. Did you look at how much it costs to spend the night there?
Oh, heck no. I couldn't get past what they were asking for it. It's like, yeah,
It 575
oh wow.
a
For
night.
That's for one night.
That's the cheapest. That's during the middle of the week.
Oh, so it's much more on the weekends.
And that's not even the full lodge. The
Well,
full lodge
yeah.
is 1,250 to 1,500 or $8,500 a week.
Oh, wow. Wow. So do you think that's actually expensive for Colorado? Because like when I go stay at the Renaissance Resort
You mean for Lake
outside of
Tahoe?
Birmingham, it's weekends it's 600-700 a night.
Yeah. No,
And
I mean,
that's
I've spent a lot of time at Lake Tahoe. It's pretty expensive there,
really, yeah.
but still, it's like just it
Yeah.
is expensive. You can see why they're charging that much. But when you go to the losttraillodge.com, it says Kylie Rodni is our daughter. She was found deceased on August 21st. So it's almost been a month. We are
Mhm.
temporarily closed.
Yeah.
Her gathering will be at the amphitheater on September 10th. All are welcome. Please bring a picnic. Please go to findkylie.com, which I went to that website. It's taken down now for more information. If you'd like to support us, you may Venmo Lindsay Neiman.
Oh, I wonder when was that put up?
August, between August 21st and September 10th.
Okay, and today's September. Okay, well, I know I talked to her 2 weeks ago to discuss um towards the reward money. But she did not. When I asked her, is there, should we reroute it? Well, I did say for funeral expenses though, because I guess I don't know. Um, maybe that's why she told me they didn't need it. I don't know.
She says, in the days of the 24-hour news cycle and social dilemma, the Lost Trail Lodge is a reprieve from media mayhem, an escape to a simpler reality, an opportunity to unplug and reconnect, sneak into the forest and get lost. We promise you'll find what you like. So their whole operation is based on this idea of an escape from media.
Hmm.
So imagine how all of the world's media has sort of descended upon that place.
Right.
I would
Right.
imagine that doesn't set well.
And then today I seen it was a YouTube video that was from 13 days ago, and I had never seen it before. And it was this boy's TikTok who lives in the area, and his TikTok was so disturbing. And then it went to his Instagram, which Sammy follows his Instagram. It was so disturbing, Tyler. I'm talking about scenes of girls in a bathtub with blood everywhere.
Oh, I don't want to know
It
about that.
it was sold, and I think that some of those kids in that area are into some really serious stuff. And so when I think about things like that, then I'm like, man, did they do something to her? It just, I go back and forth, but it seems like those kids are into some really evil stuff. Not all of them, but some of them.
Oh, here's pictures of it says this. What could be better than raising a family in the back country? We've been living at the Lost Trail Lodge and raising our 2 kids here since 2010. As elusive as the local wildlife, we promise to let you enjoy the forest adventure without having to worry about sharing your snacks. If you'd like to chat, we're happy to do so, and we'll try not to tell you too many drawn out stories of life on the trail.
Oh, it
Yeah,
just kills me that she was such a beautiful person and she had so much ahead of her. And it's just nonsense, just no, I, I get very frustrated about it.
me too. Well, appreciate you calling in, Avery. Thank you so much.
Alrighty. I'll be back in chat.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
Well, guys, that was a great call from Avery giving us some information that I wasn't quite aware of and appreciate her. Let me see. I know we got some super chats. Hey, Brandon, you're number 56. Cindy, thank you. 58, actually. And Brandon, you were 57. I lost track. It's me, 59. Great to see you. Thank you for your super chat. Twyla says, I have 2 friends that are speech pathologists. Kids of hard of hearing will speak that way from their therapy. Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense that she said that. I'd never heard anybody do it other than Pentecostal old school preachers. That's why. Athena 61 says, in my humble opinion, I think law enforcement saw incriminating evidence. She was possibly restrained, tied up, undressed, or physically injured, inconsistent with the car accident. Yeah, that makes sense. So when you go back to this, and there's no date of death, that could be a clue piece. And then this one says August 7th, which again is another type of a clue piece. Lots of clue pieces happening here, folks. And Athena, I think you're right on the money. I starred that because I want to save it. I agree with you. Thank you for your super chat. Hey, Debbie Pendleton. Thank you so much for your super sticker. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it. It means a lot. Desiree Parker gave a gift over on telephone.com/gift. Appreciate that. you guys can support if you're interested. PayPal, Tyler Feller. Cash App's the best way to support because there's no fees. $ Tyler Feller 22 or Venmo at Tyler-Feller. Okay, let's keep reading through this Twitter. Looking to organize fight clubs. I don't know if teenagers have organized fight clubs. I know a lot of teenagers that like fight in their basement for fun, but it's not like a fight club like you from the movie. This person says not interesting or suspicious. Autopsy results are not in yet. Jennifer says not correct. Please review the case of Brian Bone and others. Brian Bone drowned as a result of alcohol, not suspicious or surprising. Not certain what point you're trying to make. Look at the announcement date. She says the point is dates of death are usually put on announcements concerning memorials, pre-autopsy release. Good point, Jennifer Coffindaffer. Yeah, Athena, I knew what you meant, actually. Thank you for clarifying. I didn't even pick up that I didn't say Adventures with Purpose because I knew totally what you meant. Thank you for your super chat and just the clarification. I think other people probably knew too, but thank you for clarifying. Holy Moly says, "Love you, Tyler, and your life for God. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I do my best to live for the Lord." Your super chat number 63, by the way, and I just appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for blessing what we're doing here. Wow. Shady, never seen anything like this. Why? Possibly because they don't know if she died at midnight. Go away, troll. Waiting for autopsy results. Waiting for autopsy results? She said, well, that is partially a contributing factor, but still unusual based on other similar cases. So, yeah, I'm with Jennifer. This is a very strange thing. Why does it say September 1st on her memorial? I mean, I understand that anybody could probably go out there and put a rock down, right? So, hey, Kristen Rose, hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great Saturday. So, super interesting article. So I did want to play some of Kylie's songs. She had a song on SoundCloud, and this is on the Conspiracy page on YouTube. She like edited the audio and all that. I'll put the link for that in the chat in case any of you guys want to go watch her channel or anything like that. Basically, Kylie wrote a song. Warning, it does have the F word in it, but this person, I guess, like put the lyrics on there and tried to make the vocals louder where we can hear. And I wanted to play that for you. And you guys tell me if you think there's a hidden message in any of it. Hey, Raven, you said, I wonder why the report will not be released till November. Strange if you ask me. I think sometimes on those toxicology reports, it can take a long time for them to come in, especially when she's been in water for 2 weeks. So, like, obviously, they've done the autopsy and that was very fast. But because she'd been underwater for so long, just the fact that they're having to distract juice out of her eye, essentially, or liquid or water or whatever it is out of her eye. And then they're having through a very complex system, figuring out the toxicology report. That's why there's such a holdup on it, Raven. So there's some initial things they could learn certainly from an autopsy, but It's the toxicology report. Hey, Mountain Kayaker, you said, hey, Tyler, hope you're feeling better. Thank you. You got your number 64 and 65 on Super Chats. And I'm just not feeling great. Jeremy says, Tyler, I purchased your book on the website and I haven't received it. I've emailed several times, but I haven't heard back. Really? I don't know, Jeremy. I don't remember getting an email from you. I just sent a whole huge pile of books out the other day. So give it 1 or 2 days and then let me know. But I don't want you to not have a book that you got. So let me know in 1 or 2 days and I'll send another one out there to you. But I'm confident that I put it in the mail to you. And I did respond. I'm seeing your email from August 30th. And then I explained to you what was happening. And then I gave you the digital versions of the book. So I did respond to your emails. But thank you. And I'm so sorry about that. I just went and searched in my email inbox. Take care of yourself, Tyler. Thank you. You said love your show, no nonsense. That is definitely we try to steer clear of the weird drama and conspiracy theories people bring up for sure. Thank you for your super chat, Katie. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a great day. Gypsy says September 1st was Kylie's birthday. Oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Oh yeah, and Heidi says the media mail is slow. That's probably what it is. Thank you, Gypsy, for that. Really appreciate it. 67 on the super chats. Okay, let's try to analyze these lyrics.
I begin to wonder, did you ever give a fuck about me? Cause if you stop to look around, it's things lost for me. I can't get back to memories of the summers, tell the stories of the few times that you were around. I'm glad inside. Tell the stories of the few times that you were around. I'm glad inside, but I cannot make the stories.
I didn't know it said that, guys. I listened to it. That's haunting. Jeremy said, okay, sorry, I didn't see that. Thanks. Yeah, make sure you got that, Jeremy. Make sure you got those digital books that I sent to you. I mean, she can sing good for sure. She does have a beautiful voice. She's very talented. But it's painting the picture of a depressed girl. It's cutting herself. And I don't know really what the next line means. The 2 times a year alone, I cried inside. I don't understand what that's trying to say.
Keep it together, look in the mirror, tell myself you're doing better. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh no, oh. Stars in the sky, make me think about you. The love of my eyes, get you tell it's all for you. Loyalty in my blood, I will never fold on you. You trust in me, and I'll put my love in you. Okay, baby, it's just us in this world. Nobody can change that. Hey, we gon' fuck up in this world, and we can't change that. Stay up all night, you and me. When I'm with you, I feel free. Stay up all night, you and me. When I'm with you, I feel free. I begin to wonder, did you ever give a fuck about me? Cause if you stop to look around, it's things lost for me. I can't get back to memories of the summers, tell the stories of the few times that you were around. I'm glad inside, but I cannot make the stop.
Wow. I'm not exactly sure what that song means, but it's definitely a look inside of her soul. She's obviously a talented singer. The song is haunting in ways. And you guys should go back to 3 weeks ago on Faith Friday, where there was an ex witch that I interviewed, and she was talking about cutting and sort of some significance attached to that. And so I just would point you to that. I don't want to get too much into it today, but wow. Okay, guys, I want to talk through some things now involving the TikTok guy. So this says, I watched Zav Girl's new live. What stood out to me most is this kid who admits he was at Prosser posting TikTok. So someone pointed out his truck before, it did not have silver paint in the front, and now it does, along with the crumpled license plates that's been moved and zip tied back on. Okay, so you guys can see that. And then we know he was at Prosser because he said at the sanctuary. The night Kiely went missing, and he said, yeah. And there you see me on the panel right there. Here I am on the panel. And so we started having this conversation about this guy. And fairly or unfairly, it just is what happened. And I want to just take some time and just share the conversation that took place on Zav Girl's panel. And then I had a conversation with this young man, and I'm going to share that conversation with you after we put it in context. And I'll just say, before I even share the conversation, I do not think that this young man had anything to do with any of this at all. I even say it on Zav Girls. I didn't think he had anything to do with it. So,
Whoa. I just want to show you though, in case if there is new people, because I don't know. I think there might be something to this for some reason. Autumn, what do you think?
Okay, I'm back. I'm thinking, what if that thing in front of the seat that they think is like a body or something is like a pillow or a bag that just got stuck in front of the seat? They watch this to understand, entirely checked out. And I have to more finally watch this to understand what you're talking about. So he deleted that it was that night, or that it was at Prosser?
Oh, is this me? Oh, great. I hope he's not talking about me. Look, if you're here from YouTube, just know that the girl took my video and zoomed into my license plate for no reason. Not very cool. If I did, I probably should have blocked it out. I didn't zoom in. I was just zooming into the freaking silver SUV. I wouldn't even notice the license
Yeah,
plate.
but I don't understand. Like, somebody would have to explain to me why it's important not to show license plates. Because you go to Walmart and can get anybody's license
Yeah,
plate.
no, it's true. And it's true. And and you can't even read it. Did he not realize I wasn't zooming into his license? Maybe he's not talking about me, because I
dare
wasn't.
you to reply to him and be like,
I
bro,
wasn't
you
zooming
can't
into
even
her
read
license. I was
it.
zooming into that SUV. We were trying to figure it out.
I'd be like, dude, if that is the biggest of your concerns right now, like.
True, Tyler.
Yeah, and the thing is you're right. You could get anybody's license plate, and if he has it.
This young man is very, very nice. You know, I'm going to show you guys the messages in just a second. It's very, very nice.
On his TikTok, like how? Well, what am I? That's not what I was focusing on. But
I've never understood why people are like, you gotta hide their license plate. Like, you can pretty much figure out anybody's address by Googling it.
He loves his truck.
So look, we know that this is. Wait, what's that?
I was gonna say, I say Zav creates a TikTok and responds to him.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny.
I have a TikTok. I don't. Yeah.
Just be like, you don't mean me, do you?
But so look, this is the night of the party. So if you look at after, if you find I forget which one. Well, if you just look at, because that other one, I don't think it shows it.
Again, guys, to put this in a little bit of context, part of the reason that we were having this discussion, this was an ongoing discussion that was literally basically from the day before or 2 days ago, where we were noticing and how many people, I could pull it up, but I don't want to have to get off of this video. It's just kind of hard to do all that I have up now. But on Kiely's bumper, there's 2 marks, and we're just saying, like, if potentially somebody pushed her in, there had to have been a truck. And then people start saying, well, it was this guy, this truck, all that. This guy's truck was there at the party and he had a paint mark and now it's covered up and all that stuff. And so that's why that conversation took place. Again, to reiterate, I don't think this young man had anything to do with it, but he did tell me I can play his TikTok on YouTube. He doesn't care. Deb says, I will remember Kiely forever as my husband has the same birthday. Oh, yeah, you'll definitely remember her forever. Then I'm going to remember Kiely forever just in the same way that I do Gabby Petito is like one of the stories that captured our heart. Thank you for your super chat, Deb.
So look. Does this one show? Look, you could see there's actually probably another one with it. You could see it better, but look.
It's like, bro, you're the one posting videos of your license plate.
Silver paint, and then the license plates move from here to here. And then you go before the party. The first time you could see like the license plate before, I think, is this video. Is it this video? Hold on. So this would be before. No, it must not be this one. Before the party. Hold on.
It's a great question. Somebody needs to ask him. If there's anything you comment, it needs to be that.
What?
Why is your license plate moving locations?
God, where is it? There's one right before it that I found where you could see it. Hold on.
There's one where he's washing.
Right there.
front
Look,
there.
this is before it.
Yep.
And there's no paint, and the license plate's in. Look, come on.
I never
It's
seen a
another
truck with their
spot.
license plate.
That's
Now you're talking
weird.
about after the party, all of a sudden your license plate's broke and you have it zip tied and you have silver paint now on your freaking bumper. I don't know what that means, but it's weird. Because remember we were talking about, Tyler, that I would like to go if because Kylie's car had those scratches on the back. So we
Right.
wondered, did somebody push her in with a car? Where did the scratches come from? We need to look at the people that was at the party and see if they have paint on their freaking bumper. And now
Yeah.
this guy has paint on his bumper and his license plate is basically in a different spot. It is weird.
So, and the guy explains all of that to me. I'm going to show you the messages and again, reiterate. I don't think he has anything to do with this. Deb says they have something 2 times a year at the lodge. What is it, Deb, that they have? We're talking about they have twice a year. Yeah, Amanda, do you want to come on the panel if you want to? You can help explain some of this with me. You were on that panel last night with Zab. That's for Amanda. Only don't feel like you have to come up. Only if you want to. So if you don't want to, if you're not in a position where you can, that's totally fine. But yeah, so I think she may have had a conversation with him, and then I certainly had a conversation as well. Deb, thank you for your super chat. So let's keep watching this, and then I'm going to show you guys the messages that I have with him.
It is.
I mean, like the obvious defense for him would be like he's clearly doing experiments with his truck every single day. So that's his whole entire TikTok channel and probably the entirety of his life right now. So something's probably bound to happen that involves damage to his truck and paint. But given the circumstances, especially since we see those marks on Kylie's car, I would advise all the young people in that area to be very careful.
That's my advice, and I stick by it. I said clearly last night, I don't think this guy had anything to do with it. I understand teenage culture in small towns from being a youth pastor. A lot of these young men are really obsessed with their trucks. They're changing out their wheels every single day. They're painting it. Amanda says I can come up for a few. Great. Guys, that link is only for Amanda. It's not for other people to click on. So only Amanda can be clicking on that link. We're not doing panel. We might do one at the end of the show. We might do call-ins. I don't know. Ellie, we don't talk about spirit boxes or mediums on this channel, just to let you know. I know you probably don't know that because we don't, I've not mentioned it probably in a while, but we just don't. It's just not, we don't allow that kind of stuff to be talked about. Psychics, mediums, any of that stuff. We just don't talk about it.
Steve H, who is a newer creator, and he does really good videos. He did a really good Joe Lissa video. He moved his plate because he put a light bar in where their plate was, he says.
Yeah, I did see that light bar.
Okay, but what about the little paint on the bumper?
Yeah, Scott H, what about the paint on the bumper?
Zav Mez text me and you hit 80K.
Oh wow, cool.
Congratulations.
That's cool.
Congratulations, Av.
I'm happy
Thank
for her.
you.
Soon you'll be 100K and then you'll have your own plaque.
Yeah. I never thought, God, I didn't think I would get.
Big Al says I was on the panel last night as well. Well, I'm talking about this panel specifically right here. It was just me, Zab, Autumn, or Amanda. And Big Al, if we open up the stream later, I'll let you up, all right? Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Tyler, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for calling in. So, this was our conversation last night. I this morning had a message from this young man, and I think maybe you did as well, or did you reach out to him?
I reached out to him while we were on stream last night. I commented on his TikTok, and like people even went and liked it while we were live. And then he was messaging me, but I hadn't accepted him back as a friend. And on TikTok, you could only like get notifications if they're your friend. So it wasn't until I woke up this morning that I added him back and we chit chat a little bit.
So he reached out to me on Instagram.
He found you. He looked at all our faces and he was looking for us.
Yeah, which is great. I'm proud of him for doing that. So I will share with you, and I'm going to share with everybody my message thread with him, and then I'd like to hear what your guys' conversation was like, and then also just sort of get your reaction from it, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it. I'm curious to hear what he had to say.
So I blocked out his name. That's why it's cut at the top, because he says, "Hi, my name is such and such." So this is his real name, because like you see on that Instagram account, his Instagram account was like single cab truck or whatever, or his TikTok account was single cab truck or whatever. So then he messaged me and says his real name and stuff. So I just blocked off because I didn't want people to like go looking for him and stuff. So he says, "Hey, my name's such and such. I have the big white truck that's been the center of discussion. I just wanted to reach out to offer answers to any questions you guys may have that will help you with the case. Thank you very much." Doesn't he sound like a nice guy?
I talked to him quite some time today. He's very nice.
Yeah, I want to do a phone call with him, but then I'm like, I also don't want to at the same time because I like to have it like this. I said, "What's up, man? Great, thanks for reaching out." He says, "As for why my license plate moved, I installed a light bar," which that's what you said yesterday, "and the license plate covered the light. I zip tied it to my grill. The plate has always been damaged. That's why it looks crumpled. The scrape on my spray paint front bumper would be from driving into my mom's black 4Runner, but I'm more than happy to answer anything you'd like. I can also get you photos and videos if you want evidence and whatnot." So I'm like, that's really nice. I said, "Thanks for clarifying. Dude, that would be awesome. Any photos of videos that you have would be helpful." And then he said, "Yeah, what videos, photos do you want of the party, of my truck, of me installing the light bar? I can see what photos I have of the scratch on my bumper." And this was a clue piece for me to be like, yes, anything from the party that you could have would be great. A close up of the light bar will be enough there, and one of the scratch on the bumper. I really don't feel like he had to prove any of this to me because I already believed him from the get go. But he's giving an opportunity just to clear his name publicly, so I wanted to give him that chance. He says, "Yes, sir, I'll send some your way. For the bumper, I've already spray painted it again. Luckily, I do take a lot of photos of my truck." We already knew that one. "So I'm sure I can find you some major photos." I said, "Thanks, man. I like your truck, by the way." So there's his truck. I think I click on it, make it a little bigger. You can see the light bar there. License plate's not on there at this point. So when he installed that light bar, he said, "This is a photo from July 28th, the day after I installed the light bar. You can see that my bumper isn't painted where my plate was originally. You can also see some damage to the right side of my bumper, but to be honest, I'm not sure if it's the same damage in the video that she pointed out." So do you see what he's talking about?
No.
I think like over here, some damage maybe. I don't really know either, but he spray painted it. And then he says, "For this, the kid in the hat's name is Jet. The kid who's in the fight standing next to him is named Ethan." Who was Zav saying that they possibly were named?
Not Jet. I actually know who Jet is too because I have a video of him like jumping into a table at Prosser.
Oh, really? At the party?
No, it's I think July 23rd. I only remember because it was my birthday.
Oh, okay. So that's Jet and Ethan. And he said, "I just saw that and I figured I'd answer it for you." And I said, "Yeah, that's good info to know," which I haven't talked about these teenagers at all. So I felt like maybe Zav would want that information more than me. because she was trying to say like they were these other people possibly, right? And I remember maybe some of us doing some like analysis of who they could possibly be.
Oh, she's still live right now, but when you're done, I'll send her the link and the time where you started. I'm sure she'll.
Yeah, I was trying to like send this to her. But I'm like, I need a better way to communicate with her because when I email, she'll respond, but it'll be like 2 days later. So I was trying to get this stuff to her before she did her live today. And then I was even like, when her live started, I was like sending her a super chat and stuff, but she never saw it. It's okay.
I was telling you to go ahead and email me, and then I'll link you guys in an easier way.
I
Yeah.
didn't see you said that. I don't know if I have your email. Did you put it in the chat?
I did. It's just my my handle and then at Gmail.
Okay, cool. I didn't see that for some reason. There's so many people in the chat.
I was also letting you know in here that if you want to use the same email, I could also link you with Norma and Irene, which are Jalissa's mom and sister.
I want to interview Norma
Yeah.
and whoever, anybody in that family that would come on. That would be awesome.
Texas Bluebonnet, I wish I could be her secretary, but I'm about a secretary to about 5 other people, but I'll help her out as much as I can.
And then do you remember that timeline from Sleuthy Goosey that said that one of them blocked the road in their truck?
Yes.
So like I instantly, since he offered that piece of information, like here's the 2 kids who are in a fight, which those names were redacted. I'm like, all right, well, who possibly are those, kids? Jet and Ethan, apparently. That Sleuthy Goosey timeline said they blocked the road. I said, did one of them block the road? He said, nah, didn't hear of that. Jet doesn't have a vehicle, so it couldn't be him. I personally don't know Ethan, just know it was him in the fight. So it makes me think that Sleuthy Goosey timeline isn't that accurate.
I wonder what time he left.
It's another great question. I'm going to continue the conversation with him if he's willing to continue it, because I still have some more questions. So then I said, what do you guys think happened to Kiely? Which I think that's an interesting question to ask somebody who was at the party. There's another picture of the truck where you can see the license plate ziplined on there. And that, there's the damage. See the damage there?
I see it now. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the damage he's saying was previously there?
So he says that this picture is from August 5th. And I think you can actually see the date in the way that he sent the picture, the way he did the screenshot. But it's up at the top, and I cut it off because I cropped out the whole thing because it had his name on there. But so this is a picture from August 5th.
If it was August 5th, and that's all Zav needs to see to, be able to just take that out for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he said August 17th, this is August 17th photo. There's a photo of the damage. He sends another one of August 5th in just a second. But then he said, personally, I think that she was a smaller teen, probs got drunk out of her mind, and then decided to go home, took a wrong right instead of a left to leave the party and drove into the lake, I guess. So that just showed me, and I think it's a pretty important indication that a teenager who was at this party is basically saying it's pretty easy. You just make the wrong turn. He says, I'm not sure, but the windows being down makes it suspicious to me. It was 1 a.m. Why were her windows down?
Have you ever, I know you don't cuss. Actually, neither do I really. And I don't know if you drink, but I don't know if you've ever drank and then gone into a car. The first thing you want to do is open those windows because you almost feel like you're not getting enough oxygen in there. The warm air in the car, the stale air, kind of makes you a little bit car sick. So I'm thinking maybe if she was really intoxicated, maybe she put the windows down to keep her alert and keep that air cold and, not catch the nauseum from the alcohol.
Oh, I had no idea about that. Yeah, I have I've had like small amounts of alcohol, but I do not like get drunk and then get in a car. It's never happened. So
even as a passenger, I meant.
Yeah, even as a passenger, I've never done that or been with anybody really in that situation. So that's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm not sure, but the windows being down. So you're saying like maybe she had so much to drink, she got in the car and was like, oh, I need some air.
Maybe, but I mean, the front window isn't open, so that's an issue with that as well.
That's true. And I said, yeah, makes sense and agree about the window. Kind of weird about the tow truck driver story. So I was hoping he would say something about that. August 5th. Here's the photo from August 5th. And you can, I'll have to get it on there, but you can see where it's actually.
Technically, that can't be August 5th, though, because his license plate is already moved.
When did he say he moved the license plate?
I don't know when he moved it, but at Prosser that night, his license plate's in the middle. That's what Zav was pointing out, that after he moved his license plate. And then he said he put the light bar on there, so this would have been afterwards. So technically that can't be August 5th.
All right. Yeah, but we don't see the front of his truck on August 6th. So we don't know for sure. We only see the back of his truck on August 5th. The other video that she's talking about is on August 2nd. So he was saying to me on August 5th, I think, is when he put the light bar there.
I'm checking it out right now.
Yeah, I went over to the TikTok too. I'll pause here for a second and say hey to Amy, who sent a super sticker. Thank you, Amy, for that super sticker. Guys, that's our super sticker train conductor. If anybody wants to hop aboard the super sticker train, we were going after 100. We're up to 67. We'd be glad to have you. Let me go reverse back on some of this stuff. He says, as for my license plate move, I saw a light bar on my truck. License plate cover the light.
All right. Oh, sorry. He does have a video August 6th, and it's already moved. So he's probably telling the truth as he was as always. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he moved in on August 5th and then took a picture of the light bar. And that's why he has that picture. I do that. Like I used to live in the country, and then I installed a light bar on my side-by-side. I had a Polaris Razor, and then I took a picture of it when I installed the light bar. It's just something you do when you live there in that kind of environment. You're like, oh, I got a light bar now. I got to take a picture of it. So it's a weird thing. But yeah, so August 5th is what he had in his photos. And then there's damage already in that spot again on August 5th. So that rules out his car. August 5th, damage is already there. I said, great, man. Thank you for sharing. So I just don't, and I've said it, I said it last night. Like, I don't think this kid had anything to do with it. But
I was just going to say that I wasn't questioning him whether because I think he did it or not. I was just like, wait a minute, but
yeah, we need to.
But no, I don't think he was involved either. And same with Jagger. I don't think Jagger was involved. Same with Sammy. I don't know if Sammy was involved. I think she's hiding something, but I personally think it's about what goes on at the parties that they organize.
I think I don't think Sammy's involved personally. I think the story with Sammy, it has more to do with guilt about leaving and letting Kiely drive herself.
I've said that as well too. Yeah, definitely, for sure. I've left people before not wanting to, but they wouldn't leave with me. And then, the next day you're just like, oh man, I hope they made it okay, because they are on your mind, and they should be, and they really should be. But sometimes, people are stubborn and they don't want to go with you.
Yeah. It's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is sad. I've had some friends that, I really didn't want to leave them behind, and most of them were guys. I almost left no girl behind because I partied a lot in my days. And so I never truly left a female where I was worried about her, but there was definitely guys where I was like, man, he was intoxicated. I hope he made it home okay.
So yeah, that's just something I don't have any experience with. I've not had to be in any of those situations. So I'm like, I just don't know. I've been in maybe one party type situation in my life, and it was like there's a big group of people and everybody was safe. So I'm glad you're helping teach me some things. So then I said, thanks, man, for sharing. He said, yep, just wanted to clear things up. I appreciate all you guys doing, trying to help solve a case, but I don't need any conspiracy theories on my truck's TikTok page. Ha ha ha. Not the type of person I am. Thank you, and let me know if there's anything I can help with. I just think he's like super kind. And I said, haha, yeah, I didn't think you had anything to do with it either. Thanks for sharing. I said, I may have a couple more questions and reach out. And then he said, feel free to continue using my TikToks if you think they will help. Just was a bit weirded out when I first heard people were taking my TikToks to YouTube. I said, thanks, man. Also, can you send any pics of videos from the party? And he said, yeah, I'll see if I have any.
Yeah, he's actually a really sweet kid. When Zav started her live, he messaged me and he's like, my truck broke down. He's like, I'm not trying to get rid of it. And I was like, she knows, she's talking about the comments, and I sent them to her, and he's like, I just thought it was funny. And I thought that was quite adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, poor guy. So he probably doesn't even know. My guess is he probably doesn't know you and I have our own channels, and he thinks, it's all on Zab's channel. So that's why I was like trying to get this to Zab before she started her stream. By the way, I put Amanda's link if you guys want to follow her in the chat.
I don't know how much longer you're going to be on, but I'm doing my first solid live tonight after taking a year off. So,
oh yeah, people need to go check that out.
It was a lot earlier, but I saw you were going live, and I was like, I need to see this. So I pushed it.
Well, and I can send you this too, and you can play it if you want to. We usually stream for 2-3 hours max. I don't know how Zab does what she does. I'm like, golly, I can't even talk that long. My throat starts hurting.
I truly cannot. I don't have that much time in a day.
Yeah, well, there's that part of it too. Hey, Patty, thank you for that. Carol, appreciate your super chat. House Nurse says, thought I'd hop on for a chat for Amy. Love you, feller fan. We love you, House Nurse. Renee says, Tyler, that Monday night when we heard the police scanner was a false alarm, I keep feeling it was not there. Was something going on? Yeah, apparently it was a big fat false alarm, but I'd like to know who created it and why, because there could be something to that. Thank you guys for your super chats. We're up to 71. What were you saying, Amanda? Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's fine. I interrupted you. I think I was going to say, if I had the opportunity, I would probably be streaming every day. So maybe not as long as Zav can, but I would still stream every day if I was able to.
Oh, yeah. We do 6 days a week here. But for usually 2 hours, and then if it's a really good stream, we'll do 2.5, 3. So what was your conversation like with him?
Very to the point. He's very nice. I kind of wanted to leave the interviewing to Zav because she was the one who wanted to reach out to him. I did use his video in one of my videos, but it was only to prove that they call their parties functions. That's all I used it for. But I know Zav had questions for him, so I wanted just to link them up, and then I kind of forgot the question.
Oh, so basically you were just like, hey, let me try to connect you with.
Yeah, there you go. And then I did ask him about Jagger because I'm interested in clearing Jagger, just because I hate that article came out and it was just really misquoted and misrepresented. And, people are like, how do you know he wasn't there? And I'm like, just law enforcement and police department and FBI and the parents and the partygoers didn't all miss him, only for a YouTuber to find it in an article about an article. So I asked him if he knew Jagger and if he knew Jagger was there. And he says he doesn't know Jagger, so he didn't know if he was there. So that was the only thing I asked him aside from trying to link him with Zav.
That's great. Because I don't think exactly what you're saying that Jagger had anything to do with this. And I just hate that there's so many grown adults who literally, I heard Plunder say this today. It's people are inventing things because they had some issues in their own childhood or something. And then grown adults are going after.
I could see how people could go after Sammy because she interjected herself a little bit and she put herself out there, and there's a lot of coverage of her. So I could see how they could speculate on her. But Jagger has truly just been heartbroken to us, showing us that he's just fully heartbroken.
Filming videos of him crying, which is, I don't know very many 19-year-old guys that do that.
Lots of them.
film videos of themselves crying?
Yes, it's like a trend.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not up to date on that. I
I'm very
sent you that. This is just a screen record of my messages, and I went ahead and sent it to you and Zav. That way you guys have it. Hey, Michelle's here. She says, "Hey, Tyler and fam. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you." Michelle's been on the panel a few times with us on Zabs. It's great to see you. So yeah, any other thoughts? Do you have any thoughts that you wanted to share about the fake black box that was reported?
I had no idea this even happened until Zach mentioned that it happened to her and Big Al. I went to sleep and didn't keep up.
So yeah, Big Al, I think if he's here, maybe now is the time for him to call in if he's involved with this. But
Yeah,
SF Investigates what apparently was like a part of all this somehow and woke the grandfather up to tell him about this. And so he's literally tweeting like, before speculating too much on the EDR, the black box that leaked, I think it's important to find out why page 3 has the date and time out of whack. Like people were actually believing that somehow, like when I first heard it, I was like, no way the real black box data from California Highway Patrol leaked out. Who's the one who has it? Like, no way.
Why
And
would
then
he
like, what'd you say?
Why would he message the grandfather?
I don't know. Like I think he's kind of an emotional guy, is my guess.
I think so. I don't really follow him too much. I actually asked people to connect me with him for Jalissa because he had, I think he had mentioned that he wanted to start helping out with that, and so I wanted to link him with their family. Never happened, but I didn't know much about him until this case.
I don't think anybody did. Jeremy M says, I have a chronic illness in this channel. I'm so glad that we can help, Jeremy. We're glad that you're here. A lot of people on this channel, for some reason, have chronic illnesses, and we're just going to see everybody healed. We're going to pray and believe they're healed. So, yeah, he says, before speculating too much, he's already calling it out. And then a little bit later, he says, using fake black boxes of a 16-year-old who died to troll another account is beyond wrong. I was in contact with the grandfather during the night and this morning. It caused a sleepless night of worry and anxiety for a family member. Everyone has lost sight that these actions cause pain.
Wow. I don't think he should have reached out to the grandfather, but I'm glad it got clarified. But, you know, as somebody who's in contact with family members of missing and everything, you have to have some type of decorum, and, you know, business hours apply, whether or not, you know, it's something of importance. And especially if it's a social media thing, you just really need to withhold it. That's just.
So Big Al's here. Big Al, I'm not sure what role you play in this black box thing, but I'm interested to hear.
Zav brought me up. I have 15 years experience in the event data recorders and GPS tracking systems. I was a field service manager for one of the manufacturers that runs units in trucks, trains, buses, stuff like that. And we were going over the event data, and I said right away I didn't think it was real, but we went through it and speculated, and it turns out it wasn't real.
So you were looking at it instantly. You're like, this is a fake.
I just said it feels like this is a fake. But we still went over, you know, all the data that was there, and I explained to her, you know, the airbag deployments and, you know, why at times it deploys and doesn't deploy. And we were looking at the brake, and it didn't make sense, and our engine RPMs didn't make sense. To me, throttle position made sense if it was rolled in, because the throttle was sitting at 1%, which means it would have been just idling. It just, something about it just didn't strike me as being real. And I feel really stupid for getting duped, and I'm sure Zaf isn't happy about it either.
Oh, that's what she was saying, that she said, Big Al, we got duped.
Yeah, we got duped.
Yeah, would it be the first time we got duped
For
since
sure.
we've come? Big Al, it's so nice to meet you, and I really.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. I've heard you on a lot of panels. You're a very good speaker.
Thank you. I have to jump down, but Tyler, it was really nice speaking to you, and thank you for.
What time are you going live today?
In about 20 minutes.
Guys, if you want to leave my stream and watch Amanda's, I won't be offended. Thank you, Amanda, for being here. Have a great night. So, Big Al, what do you think happened? Foul play or accident?
You know, I lean more towards foul play just because of where she was found in the car. It's so hard to say with what law enforcement did when they brought the vehicle out of the water. rolling it over the way they did and everything spilling out all over the bottom of the lake. It seems to me that there's a lot of evidence that could have cleared a lot of things up that got tainted. So it's such a crapshoot. My brain tells me foul play. My heart tells me that I want it to be an accident.
I think it'd be easier if it was an accident, wouldn't it?
I think so, for the family. I think everybody wants someone to blame. We all want to hang the criminal in town square. That's kind of human nature. We want someone to blame.
Yeah.
But
No, I agree.
it may turn out to where there's just nobody to blame. I don't know. There's so many twists in this thing.
If somebody created that black box report or whatever as like kind of a joke, and they didn't think it was, if they genuinely didn't think it was going to become a thing, then like I have grace, and I have grace for them anyways. But I have a lot of grace for them. I'm like, I understand that they didn't have a bad intention, but if they created it and they had this like knowledge that something squirrely could happen with it, then that's a big problem. Like if they thought people were actually going to like run with it, like kind of what you guys did and what SF Investigates did and other people did, that's a big problem.
Yeah, when I woke up this morning, my messages were blowing up. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I said on the stream, I didn't think this thing was real. We just analyzed it to analyze it. Just like everything else Dab does. She does everything with an open mind, and I think that's what made me gravitate. I never did true crime before this case. And I never called in. The reason I called into Zab's stream initially was I worked for AAA overnights to work myself through college. So I did dispatching for almost 2 years for them. And I called in to talk about the dispatching process and how that worked. And this has turned into, probably 30 panels later, talking about this stuff,
Well, why don't we do a thing where if you want to put up the video of them interviewing that AAA guy and you tell me your thoughts on it?
I can speak to, what the digital dispatch is. It's the thing about everybody saying AAA. There is, and I'm sure you're familiar with this, your credit card has roadside assistance, your cell phone has roadside assistance, your electric company everybody has roadside assistance. Well, AAA is the number one dispatcher of roadside assistance programs in the United States. They have the infrastructure set up with the tow companies, and they get dispatches in from all over the place. It's not just people calling in, it's other assistance companies calling in and saying, hey, this is so-and-so with Visa. I have a roadside customer at this location. Here's their information. It gets typed in and dispatched to the next company that's on deck in that region or area.
I see.
The tow truck driver, they're the roadside guy. I don't know what to think of that whole interaction. I really, truly don't. I mean, I know they were talking to him for hours. That very short interview was hours, and you can tell because at the beginning, it's daylight, and then the second edit in is twilight, and the third edit is black. So they were there for a long time. And I think Doug addressed that on, I forget what stream it was.
It's a good clue. I think he said that it was like 30 minutes is what Doug said, but.
Oh no, it was a lot longer than that. If you look at the beginning of the interview in the upper right-hand corner, you can see that it's still daylight. It's cloudy and inclement weather, but it's still daylight.
Let's watch it together. And if you want me to pause, let me know.
Yeah,
hey, Jay, thank you for that super chat. You said, God bless. God bless you. Thank you for supporting our channel. Guys, we are completely crowdfunded because it's just the way these channels work. So we got to have you. And I appreciate every single dollar that's given. It makes such a big difference. Okay, I'll pause every so often. We'll talk. But if there's time you want me to pause, just let me know too.
Okay.
A longtime supporter, fan.
But right there, you see it's daylight in the top right corner.
Correct.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Of ours. Appreciate you for coming up to us. Possibly has some information in regards to the Kiely Rodni case. So why don't you explain a little bit about what you may have run into?
So my name is Nick. I
Pause it
work
right
at
there.
emergency.
Go back a couple frames. You can see in the first 5 seconds of the video. Now look at the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah.
First edit is at least 20, 30 minutes later.
In regards to the Kiely Rodni case. So why don't you explain a little bit about what what you may have run into.
So
all right. Yeah, I mean, I know they had to edit it. They had a long conversation. They might be releasing the rest of it.
my name is Nick. I work at an emergency roadside assistance program. I got a call up in Truckee, Boca, for a battery call. So pretty much that means that the vehicle can't start. So I went en route up there, found the vehicle. At the time, I didn't realize that this was a situation until later on. But
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
You said you went to Boca.
yes, sir.
So over near Boca Lake.
Yes, sir.
So not Prosser Lake, Prosser Creek Lake.
It's right by Crosser Creek.
Yeah, so just north. So you went to Boca.
At first, when I went there, I realized after my test that, everything was working great on the vehicle. At that point in time, I did notice that, she was very hesitant and very skeptical on everything that was going on. She was asking me really weird questions, in the sense of, how do you put on your seatbelt correctly? And,
You can see in that section that they're using utility lights, not camera lights.
That makes
And
sense because they probably have a lot. Yeah.
They got lights with stands for lighting up when they're doing whatever, wherever they're working.
And
at
it does
night.
look significantly darker.
Yeah, you can tell that the darker it gets, the more that utility lighting, because it's not for production. It's not a camera light. It's just a utility light. You can see it get brighter and brighter and brighter because it's getting darker and darker and darker.
Yeah, makes sense. But I was going to ask you a question. Have you ever had anybody ask you about seatbelts?
I never. I mean, I dealt with it in semis. We had to put. Sometimes we had to replace relays and wiring for semi seatbelt switches so the computer could see when the belt was buckled or not. Because a lot of drivers would disconnect that switch.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't light up on the dash. Because for whatever reason, a lot of truck drivers didn't like driving with the seatbelt on. So when we install our equipment to monitor the vehicle, we'd have to replace that because it would give an alert.
Wow.
If that circuit wasn't complete. And we also had to in some trucking companies and other companies, we had to install sensors in the passenger seat because insurance wouldn't allow people to have a passenger. So we'd have to put a pressure switch in the seat to tell if anybody was sitting in the seat, similar to the same switch that tells your airbag if there's a child sitting in the seat, to not fire the airbag because the airbag would kill the passenger, if they don't weigh enough.
I just think it's fascinating to have somebody saying hey, can you teach me how to put a seatbelt on? That doesn't even make sense.
Well, here you're going to see something that, I don't know if you noticed this before in watching this, when he gets done describing putting the seatbelt question, watch Doug and Nick look at each other and watch their body language change.
Okay.
Ask me really weird questions, in the sense of, how do you put on your seatbelt correctly? And and she asked me to show her on how to connect it to.
See how they looked at each other there? What the heck?
Oh yeah, I did not catch that before. Oops.
So you went
great on the vehicle. At that point in time, I did notice that she was very hesitant in the sense of how to get it to her actual belt. After that, she was stating on how she was there all first when I went to notice that really weird questions, in the sense of, how do you put on your seatbelt correctly? And and she asked me to show.
Right there.
Yeah.
Look at the look on Nick's face, and right after this frame, Nick looks at him like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Now there's something else coming up I want you to watch for. When he's talking about who was in the car, watch Doug's hand. You'll see his cell phone in his hand like he's about to show this tow truck driver guy something. And then we get a quick edit. You can tell there's quite a bit of time between the edit, and their demeanor completely changes. Like he showed him a picture on his phone or something on his phone, and the tow truck driver verified it, is what I'm thinking happened. But you'll notice it now that I mentioned it.
Huh.
Her on how to connect it to her actual belt. After that, she was stating on how she was there all night and she couldn't get her vehicle started due to the fact that now we both realized it was in neutral. She was wearing a sweatshirt, so it looked like she has been there for quite a while.
What color was the sweatshirt?
It was a gray sweatshirt.
Gray sweatshirt. Was it dark gray or light gray?
It was light gray.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, there was a guy there that was with her at time being. He was wearing a black San Francisco flat top ball cap facing forwards. Brown hair that's sticking out just a little bit on the sides. It was kind of like they were both kind of at unease is what it looked like for me, like as if either they had a crazy night or a crazy day or there's something going on I couldn't know, and at the time I didn't realize what was going on. But other than that, he was a thinner built guy is the best way I could put it, with a bro tank. And
notice his position and the way he's talking right here. He's no longer looking at Doug and Nick. He's answering a question to someone off camera.
I wonder if he's looking at his girlfriend or something.
He's looking at somebody other than them because they're standing directly to his left. Or they repositioned during this portion of taping. But he's definitely not looking at, they were standing right next to the trailer. He wouldn't be looking so far to the right. But the part with the phone is coming up, and you'll see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. We picked that apart on allegedly Britney's stream.
White bro tank. He had some freckles on his face, or maybe it was acne or whatnot, but it was on both sides of his face. He
like he has his phone out right there.
Yep, right there. And now watch right after this next edit. Their demeanor completely changes, his and Nick's.
He's probably like, is it this person?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking he was doing.
Because he was also a little bit shorter than me, so I'm 6'3".
In hindsight,
there's no phone. But we already knew that it was edited.
Right.
But based on the context of where they were at in the conversation, then it was likely
something went on there that got edited out. And it was something that happened on his phone. He didn't answer a call in the middle of the interview.
Yeah.
You're realizing all of this. When do you think that this took place? Was it before, during the day, after she disappeared?
So the AAA service guy has no information to his log, never has access to the cameras, or how does that work?
He wouldn't have okay. We did forward facing and driving facing cameras as well that stored to the cloud and used CDMA or the digital network to transfer it over the cellular network. The driver never has access to that camera.
I see.
That always goes to the cloud, and then it'd be a manager or their IT guy or somebody like that to preserve the information. Because let's say a driver does something to a customer, the customer calls and complains. If the driver knows that's on camera and he has access to it, he has the ability to delete that footage. Or if there's a road rage incident or something like that, somebody complains, the idea of the camera is to not only protect the driver, but hang the driver if they do something wrong.
Yeah.
So you're not going to give the driver access.
That's sort of what I was thinking. So it's not really weird that this guy happened to not know anything.
No, it's not going to be one of those cameras that you can walk into Walmart and buy to stick on your windshield.
Okay.
This is for accountability, which is what we did. And the ones you buy from Walmart have like an SD card in them. You can just pop the SD card out and go, I don't know what happened to it.
Huh. Patriot 77 and Texas Blue Bonnet said they showed him a picture of Jagger.
I didn't see where AWP verified that.
Yeah, me neither. But two different people are saying it. So, and I
think it can be assumed.
Yeah.
Where they showed him a picture of somebody. Now, Doug did say in a live that it was Kiely, or the driver said it was Kiely, and then he walked it back. That how many blonde girls are there in California? I think, or something like that. He kind of backed out of the statement, but he did say it was Kiely. Doug said that in a live. That the tow truck driver said it was Kiely.
Oh, Ms. Lacey says the camera guy will ask questions sometimes.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
But he definitely wasn't looking at the two guys that were interviewing him.
Yeah, he was looking at somebody, so it makes sense that he would be talking to the cameraman.
I've heard from multiple people, but I've never been able to verify that the sheriff's office was actually on scene for this interview.
Well, they should have been.
I would think AWP would call them.
You know, like
I don't think AWP would put this video out without the approval of law enforcement. And I don't think they would vet it and risk their reputation unless it was solid. That's just my opinion.
Huh.
I also think law enforcement probably had something to do with some of the questions, and they were probably watching every suspect's digital devices the second this video dropped on the internet, because there would be chatter back and forth between anyone who was a suspect, and they would pick that up. All their socials, their WhatsApps, they have access to all that, especially in a case like this. So they'd be watching their DMs, their texts, whatever, anything that's happening on their devices.
Yeah. You're right.
Be honest with you, it's either right after she disappeared or right before.
But also your theory of them calling the police down there for the interview could be why it was daylight and then dark. Because Doug told me the conversation was about 30 minutes long.
Yeah, that's why I brought that up initially. I think they were there waiting for law enforcement. They were probably talking to him while they were waiting. But
Yeah.
it's obvious they were there for quite some time. And then it's addressed in a live that, yes, they were there for about 2 hours, I think Doug said.
Wow. In the Best Buy parking lot?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which you can see after a while. I forget where it is. It's not there I don't think it's there in the beginning, and then it's there like halfway through. There's a cone. They put out cones.
Oh, did they? I saw there's like
Yeah.
a drone footage shot.
Yeah, they actually put out orange cones in the parking lot around the trailer. They pop up in a couple edits where the camera gets moved, and you can see them in the bottom left-hand corner.
Wow. You guys really did unpack this.
Before she disappeared. But it was around noonish, like 11 o'clock in the morning when I got out to her. During that period of time, after the period, I told her that I was going to leave and I hope you have a great day. Vehicle, I told her to keep it running for a couple of hours to obviously make sure everything's working good on the vehicle, charging system wise. At that point in time, then I left. And then a week later is when I saw at a coffee shop that she was gone.
You saw this on a flyer or something?
Yeah, but then everything spiraled out of control and I got in contact with the detective and tried to do everything I could. And yeah, and then I saw you guys.
Now we know we probably have a tie to Boca, which was already on my radar.
Yeah, it's like pretty dark outside.
Yeah, it's really dark there. I know I have some Milwaukee lights that sit on their tripods. It's an LED light that sits on a tripod. You plug a drill battery into it. They're super freaking bright. Yeah. You can tell how bright that light is by the darkness of the shadow on the trailer. It's a very bright utility light.
Wow.
And if they were actually lighting it for an interview, they'd have light from two sides to cut down the shadows in the background.
Do you know who placed the call to your roadside company?
So I can't get details. Calls don't go through me. They go through
dispatch. So you don't have. So when you were digitally dispatched, did you call them to say you were coming, or you just showed up?
I did call and nothing went through. It went straight to voicemail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if she had a phone on her at the time?
She did state that her phone was dead. She used whoever this was, she used his phone. So that's how she did get in contact.
And what was, you mentioned?
So there's one thing. When whoever's phone was used to call in to the call center, that number was logged.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. The number that comes from is logged. Now, the one thing about AAA in specific, now I'm not going to say about other roadside assistance programs because I don't know how they work, but AAA follows a person from vehicle to vehicle. You can be in any vehicle, have a problem, call AAA, and they will come and take care of it. Now you may end up paying, it depends on what package you have on how far they'll tow you or, what they'll do. But as long as if you buy AAA, Tyler, and you get in Zav's car and you guys are on a road trip and it breaks down, you can call AAA and use your AAA in her car And
The
depending on
thing
the
that doesn't
package,
make
it's
any
up to 3
sense to
times a year.
me, the thing that made no sense to me about this, like when you live 10 minutes away, you don't call AAA to come and help you. You call a friend, you call your parents, you call your grandparents.
Exactly. Well, there's something coming up that that's gonna kind of make you think too. When they show the pictures of where the vehicle was in Boca, I have something for that too.
On her at the time.
She did state that her phone was dead,
Her phone
and
was
so
dead.
she used whatever guy, whoever this was, she used his phone. So that's how she did get in contact.
And what was you mentioned? Like she was asking funny questions and acting weird.
Granted, I at the time I didn't realize again that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the towing industry my whole life, so you see a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of weird stuff, and it's actually pretty normal. You know, so I can see why at the time it's just a normal call.
She kept on going over that, like how do you like, you know, secure your seatbelt firmly and like do it correctly, and that's when
she was asking this, was the guy that she was with right there too?
He was on the opposite side of the car,
so he could hear the conversation as well?
Every single time the guy would come over to us, she would go on to the other side, and it was just like a back and forth, like a tag team, better to say. Like one person would come over, she wouldn't stay near him, and then it would go vice versa. Or if we were at the front of the car going about the battery and talking about the battery, he was always on one side, she was on another. They were never close to each other.
She was uncomfortable. Yeah, because that screams awkwardness and someone being uncomfortable. And when in that scenario, if he was there with her, he should have been right next to her. If not dealing with you the entire time, and not her. Did she seem high or intoxicated? Or
I thought that maybe she was either hungover or just had a really rough day. She looked distressed.
Can you show me on the map where you saw her?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're here in Reno. Let's go.
Do you think they were protecting the trunk or what?
I've gone round and round about this ring around the rosy thing around the car. Most Honda CRVs have a cover that is on like a window shade roller that covers that back hatch area and snaps into place. I don't know if Kiely's car had one or not. The whole theory that she was already in the back when this was going on. If one of those covers was in the car, I wouldn't understand why they'd even be worried about it, because she'd be completely hidden.
What if this turns out not to even be Kiely's car?
I highly doubt that it's not Kiely's car.
Really? Why?
I think he would have had to fill out a post-dispatch report with the plate number, the color, make, model, and any notes that he had, and the disposition of the stop.
So he would have had that record still.
He would have had that record. I don't know what. It's been years since I worked for AAA. I don't know what the tow truck drivers and the roadside guys are carrying now. At the time, it was like a really old school tablet. Like way before tablets. But now I'm pretty sure they're doing it all on their phone. But I'm sure they have to be logged in and working to have access to any kind of information like that. And I don't know that the driver can just go back and look at it. It wouldn't make sense to me that they would be able to go and look at their dispatches. I think that would be something that the office would have to do, someone in a position of power. Again, accountability. They're not going to give people access to things like that, because if there's a complaint or a problem, they need to have that recorded.
Right. It needs to be a neutral party.
Yeah.
Huh.
I know one of the biggest contracts we ever did for forward-facing and driver-facing cameras was FedEx Ground. And it was like 6,000 trucks in a year. And you wouldn't believe the crap show that it was when different regional people had access to camera footage. Stuff was showing up all over the internet. I mean, all over the internet. They were pulling accidents down and crashes down and sharing it with their friends. And I mean, it was crazy. It was the first time we had so many people having access to the data. and it was costing us a fortune in bandwidth because so many people were downloading the videos just for fun to share.
My goodness.
That they absolutely had to rein it in because bandwidth is expensive. If you put videos up on a website and you're paying for bandwidth on that website, it can run into thousands of dollars really fast. So they lock all that stuff down. But you're going to see, right, when he asked them to drop a pin and then they show the location where the car was and they go there, look in the background at all of the campers that were less than 100 yards away from where they were broke down. Why would they be broke down in the middle of the day, in the middle of a campground full of people, and not just walk over and ask someone for a jump?
Exactly. I made that
Rather
same
they
point.
make a phone call and wait for an hour.
I was at a restaurant, like a fast food restaurant, a few weeks ago, and a college student came in there and was asking every single person in the fast food restaurant to give him a jump start. I'm like, that's exactly what I would do if I was in that same situation. I wouldn't even be like, oh, I need to call roadside assistance or anything like that. I'd be like, how can I solve this problem faster with people that are right around me?
And people in campgrounds, if they see someone broke down, I drug around a fifth wheel for 4 years, going from place to place doing work. People in campgrounds are mechanically inclined. They're going to walk over and be like, hey, is everything okay? They're going to be curious. Why are you sitting there with your hood up? Someone's going to walk up. And I'm surprised that somebody hasn't come forward yet to talk about this. But I would think it would have been a hell of a lot faster to just walk over and be like, hey, can I get a jump? And who knows, maybe somebody did go to the police and say, hey, those kids asked me for a jump and I didn't have any cables.
Let's go down to Truckee. There's Prosser, there's Boca. Just drop a pin on the road exactly where you saw her.
We're at the right place, right? Boca, you come in, you follow this road down. I think that is the turnout right there. Yeah, this is it. And so right there, how she was coming out this way,
so and her front end was facing 894.
Yeah.
All right. And did you leave before her, or did she leave before you?
I left before her.
Was there anybody else around?
There was people far back here, yes, but not near her, no.
Did you notice anything in particular in her car at all?
I mean, besides perfume bottles and actually there was a perfume bottle that was in the center console, and that was all that I recall, to be honest.
Did she have anything on?
Everybody's making a big deal about this perfume bottle. If he had to get into the car and put it in park or check the gear shift or anything like that, his hand would have almost hit it. So he would have noticed it. The same as he would have if there was a big cup in the cup holder. There just happened to be a bottle of perfume in the cup holder,
there was
it sounds like.
Cans of alcohol.
Yeah, he doesn't mention that. Does he?
But he doesn't mention anything like bags or anything.
He doesn't mention anything like that.
Yeah. He probably didn't look. I wonder how he feels, because when I take potentially, if there's foul play involved and if his story is true, it definitely makes it seem like there's foul play. But if there's foul play involved, then I take what she's doing by asking about the seatbelt as a cry for help. Like, I'm in a situation, I really need you to come and help me. Is that what you were thinking too?
I think that he's probably suffering from massive guilt after this. That, oh my God, there were red flags, and
that's how I thought.
And I didn't catch it. There's people that cry for help all the time and on deaf ears, because people are busy with their lives and not paying attention. I think something was weird with the people that were in this car. What that was, I don't know. I think it's all, everything in this case right now is speculation because nobody really knows anything. I think that's what wrapped me into it. Because there's so much to look at when you pick this video apart. Right now the frame you're stopped on, where'd the light go? Why is Doug so dark? Was the battery dying in the utility light? And this is close to the end of the interview because it's pretty dark the last couple edits.
Great questions you're asking right now.
But I would have never watched a video with this kind of vigor. I've never picked apart a video like this in my life. I've watched this thing frame by frame probably 20 times. And I
My
actually
goodness.
downloaded the YouTube video so I could bring it up in my video editor to watch it frame by frame.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm so interested in why are all these anomalies in this one video.
Have you thought about doing a YouTube channel?
No, I own a bar, and this for me is brain exercise. It takes me away from the whole cutting off drunks, stealing employees, people not
I see.
showing for work. It kind of just got me away from that for a little bit.
What
And
state are you in?
I'm in northern Minnesota.
I see.
I retired 5 years ago and bought a bar. I'm coming up on 5 years in this location, and I'm interested in the whole creator aspect and looking at who the good creators are. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in the last week and a half.
There's a lot of crazy
really
stuff.
crazy people making some really crazy claims and throwing people randomly under the bus and not thinking about the repercussions of doing that. Some big name people. There's some people out there with millions of subscribers that I know. I don't know if you're familiar with the Kevin Bacon separation thing.
6 degrees of separation.
The 6 degrees of separation. There's people that are making crazy claims that I know through other people that have personally been in my bar and played music in my bar. So for me to know other people, and these other people are telling me how passionate people are, and just take it with a grain of salt and this and that. It's like, God, it just seems really weird that all these people are going so crazy and saying so many wicked things about other people and not thinking about, that this is all about a 16-year-old kid.
Like, that's been the thing that I feel like we've done a great job of doing on this channel is making sure that we're not talking negatively about these teenagers and instead trying to protect them. And especially in regards to Sammy, I felt like a lone man out here saying, guys, we have no evidence. You cannot, I know there's some discrepancies, but you are not allowed to just make up crazy claims, not on this
Yeah,
channel.
you can't put her over the coals. I will say her actions are suspect. And I've said it before. I don't trust her at all. She seems very weird to me, but I don't have any proof of her doing anything.
But yeah, there's no evidence. And like, there's some things that probably, would be helpful if she clarified. But at the same time, like, I hold adults around her responsible, even though people are like, well, she is an adult. Well, she's 18. I hold the grown adults, police officers, law enforcement agent that allowed her to take such a center role responsible for not protecting her. So anyways, enough about her because it's going to start.
Yeah, let's not jump down that rabbit hole.
Let's back to this. Yes, it's dark now and the lights
On
on.
her keys at all?
I don't remember.
Did you say that you guys have cameras that could possibly get some sort of facial recognition on?
Yeah, so we do indeed. We have cameras facing front and rear of our vehicles, as well as we do have like audio, so we can pick up audio from inside and outside of the truck.
That
So we
did
did have
intrigue
that.
me a little
I'm
bit.
guaranteed. I mean, my vehicle.
So he says they had audio inside and outside. That means he would have to be wearing a mic.
Well, they have cameras that do the inside of cars too.
Right,
Like
but he said audio outside. If you're having audio outside and the camera is inside, then you need to have a wireless mic.
Oh, well, there could be a camera like in the bumper.
Grill. I've never seen that set up. Because usually what happens with these cameras is they're mounted to the windshield or to the rear view mirror, and you wire it to ignition, constant 12 volt, and ground. And they sync with the cellular network as you turn the key, and they don't stop recording until a set amount of time after the key is turned off. In the trucking industry, that's usually 20 minutes.
You think he's in I
think he's in a van.
I was going to say a cargo van type thing.
Like probably a little Ford Transit van, something that gets really good gas mileage. I mean, they are in California.
It was probably electric. I forgot. Oh, I think it was at Walmart, and they had like Walmart delivery cars, and they're all electric. And they're vans.
That's entirely possible that it could be electric.
I think California made a law where like every vehicle by 2035 has to be electric.
Yeah, any new vehicle. Yep.
Yeah. It doesn't even make sense to me. Behind the crimes with Michelle's been on the panel with her on Zab Girl's channel. She said the only thing I've been able to say Sammy is guilty of is breaking girl code. She should feel guilty, but didn't break a law. I do think she shouldn't. I mean, I think that's what everybody's saying. She shouldn't have left her friend there.
Yeah,
Thank
she
you, Michelle,
shouldn't
for
have
that super chat.
But hindsight's 2020. At 18, when I was drinking at a party, I wasn't thinking straight.
That's
Hell,
a
I
good
don't
thing.
even think I was an adult at 18. I didn't grow up till I was 30.
I'm telling people that too. It's like you don't count as an adult when you're just graduated high school 2 months before that. So
Vehicle's facing directly towards her, so and that's how I normally do it for my protection.
What's the window you're giving us of when this happened?
Either Friday, Saturday, or
using a
Sunday.
flashlight
I believe. Because the weekends I usually cover Truckee. So
It's the first time I've picked that up. They're using like a flashlight now.
I wonder if they were like on a generator or something and it died, or it was too noisy, or
I would say it was probably electric pedestal lights that take drill batteries.
And the drill batteries probably died.
Drill batteries were fading out, and they were there for a long time. Doug even said a couple hours.
Huh.
So those drill batteries, I think they're going to run on high like that because it was super bright in the beginning. I mean, super bright. They had them on high. I don't think they were anticipating this was going to go as long as it did, which is why AWP says we've got another video. I think they really pulled some stuff out of this guy, and they have it on video, but they don't want to compromise the investigation, and law enforcement asked them not to release it.
Miss Lacey says the gray sweatshirt throws me off. It does me too. It makes me think it was not her, but it doesn't make sense to call a service guy not a parent who lives close, in my opinion. I agree with all that, Miss Lacey J. None of it makes sense.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say is if I'm a kid and I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do, the last person I'm calling is my old man because he would have whooped me.
Yeah, but you'd call your friends or something,
Yeah, maybe a friend.
It seems to me like Kylie's mom has some very loose rules.
Yes, she was the cool mom for sure.
So if somebody has that kind of loose rules, I'm kind of just like, well, she probably would have called her then. Thank you, Miss Lacey, for that super chat. I really appreciate it.
So, and that Friday I also worked in Truckee. So, yeah.
If you were to make a bet on what day it was, what would you say?
When I was looking back under my GPS, under my phone of where I've been, I was there both Saturday and Sunday, farther into Boca.
And that's the end of the interview. I don't like how he sighed. That was the thing I didn't like.
Yeah, but if you look at the end of the interview right there, look at the campground area. Look how far they were from people camping.
When I was looking back under my GPS, under my phone of where I've been, I was there both Saturday and Sunday, farther into Boca.
Okay, so right there, that's telling. He looked back on his phone and at his GPS. He couldn't look back on his phone at his work orders.
Yeah. But he knew he wasn't there on Friday, essentially.
Right.
So
well, hey, Tyler, thanks for bringing me up. I really like your message.
Oh, appreciate it.
Since I started watching all this, I like that you donate your super chats. I think it's really cool. I think it's very Christian of you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
That's appreciated. I think we need to do more for others without reward and worry about the reward later. And I know you know what I'm talking about.
I agree.
The rewards will come, and when it counts is when they'll come. So keep it up.
Well, thank you for hopping on. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'll be watching.
Yep. Have a great day.
Y'all take care.
Bye. Guys, thank Big Al in the comment section if you don't mind, just for him hopping aboard with us. And then somebody named Jameva Crime Time, which has more subscribers than I do, took the interview of us interviewing Doug on Zabgirl's channel and cut it up. And so I'm going to play that. I don't know who this person is, but since I'm the one interviewing Doug, I assume I can play it without her striking the channel.
Doing what we're doing. The importance of recovering vehicles methodically to preserve evidence. Protecting evidence and,
I mean, that is my face. So if I get struck for playing a video with my face on it, that's not going to be good.
So had I been in charge of this operation, I would have elected to slowly and methodically remove whatever evidence could be obtained through the windows. Once that is done, I would have sealed the windows up and I would have recovered the vehicle on its roof.
Sorry, guys, I accidentally quit sharing the screen. I'm so sorry. You could tell by my face that surprised me. Oh my gosh. I'm told you guys I was tired. I'm like, it's getting late. Well, it's only 10 p.m. That's not super late, but I've had a long day.
Once you do that, once you do that, you open the door. You open the door for a lot of things to go wrong. And again, this is knowledge and wisdom that we've obtained from doing this so often, and they just don't do this that often.
Doug prefers to do the recovery since that's what he's done his entire life, and how law enforcement should have sealed the vehicle before flipping and removing it.
I prefer to do it because this is what I do. I recover vehicles. I've recovered vehicles my entire life being in the towing industry. So, and then by doing this so many times with Adventures with Purpose, we're pretty darn good at it, and we understand what can and can't go wrong, and the steps you need to take to preserve evidence. You have a window open, you need to remove that evidence if you can. If not, seal up the vehicle before you even touch the vehicle. And again, that comes down to us having a lot more experience in this field.
Mm-hmm.
He explains the commander at the scene is who gave instruction on how to recover the vehicle, and Doug would have preferred to be the commander.
The commander that's in charge there of the scene, which we know we have CHP, FBI, Nevada County, Placer County, whoever that entity was that was in charge of calling those shots. I wasn't in that. I wasn't in that perimeter. As a spectator at that point, which we were turned into spectators, it looked like they were doing the best that they could. I know in hindsight that is not, wasn't a good job, but for the type of experience they had, they did what they could.
Was there anything specifically in the Kiely Rodni case that you felt like you could have improved on?
Other than being in command of the recovery, no, not overwhelmingly. No, I think we came in and we did what we came there to do. And like I said, in hindsight, I would have loved to command that operation.
Doug reveals he's not sure what or if they recovered any of her belongings. Now, after we know, Check It TV found her laptop and belongings.
I can't speak to what they did in their investigation while the vehicle was still underwater. I don't know. Obviously, like I stated before, there's lots of things that we would have done differently had we been in command of this operation. But I don't know what they did or didn't do while they were, cataloging it under the water.
And Doug had no idea their procedure would have been this bad, that law enforcement reassured them everything would be recovered.
Yeah, so we did. I can say that we were assured that it was taken care of. And we had no reason at the time to believe it wasn't. As spectators, we were watching multiple divers in the water during the recovery. So being as though we were instructed to leave, and we were instructed that things were being taken care of, and it appeared that way at the time. We didn't question it at the time. We were assured. We had no reason to believe that they wouldn't take care of this the way they should have. CHP, FBI, and multiple sheriff agencies. We had no reason to think that this would have taken place. Obviously, in hindsight, yeah, I mean, it's a learning experience for them. I hope, for sure.
He was once again asked his suspicion of foul play being involved. He stated that this was either the worst accident ever, or it's definitely foul play.
Yep. When things don't add up, they don't add up. too many coincidences become evidence. It's, some people say, oh, circumstantial stuff. Coincidences, when they add up, circumstantial things add up, they become overwhelming. So at this point, I'm beyond 50-50. Absolutely. Could this be an accident? They could come out and say that, but no one's going to believe it. I mean, it's tragic. There's upwards of 400 children at that party, and she's found not too far away, and nobody knows anything. This isn't a wrong turn road either. This isn't even a road. It's a path with huge ruts in it. So it's not a mistaking turn. This is where the vehicle was found. Is unless you're there and you're able to drive on that path and understand the road and how it hits the vehicle. You literally, when I drove our RV down the road to get to there, it was wobbling and almost turning over. There were several times I almost rolled it over and flipped it. So I mean, this isn't I just made a wrong left turn, didn't realize I made a wrong left turn. It's a beautiful paved road in and out of the campground, and you're on a dirt road. So
rough dirt road, it sounds like.
Yeah, this is one of the worst accidents ever, or it's definitely foul play.
So you're like 90-10.
This is just turning.
Some people were mad at me for asking that question about the 90-10 thing. Miss Lacey J says light gray hoodie was not the description anyone gave. I know, it's like either that Odd Future hoodie or that dark gray Lano Ray hoodie. All the girls look so similar. I actually somebody had put that on their Facebook page. It was like a bunch of the girls who are involved in this case, side by side. And I was like, yeah, I could see how you could basically say one description and it matches all of them. So
turned into a rabbit hole for everybody. It really has. And I think out of the goodness of everybody's hearts, they just
thank you for your super chat, Miss Lacey J. I love how you pick numbers. And I'm just so grateful you're part of our community here.
just want answers. They're just trying to figure things out. And I'm definitely majority thinking that it's, there's a lot of suspicion in areas there shouldn't be.
He explains the lack of information from law enforcement explains it all.
They're playing it really tight to the vest. I think their lack of response publicly explains it all. I think their response the other day saying that they're not going to respond again until November says it all. Why wait so long? Obviously, if they come forward and announce they suspect foul play, there comes a whole nother level of pressure publicly on, okay, who is it? Who's your suspect? So they're not going to do that. So they're giving themselves some time to do it the right way, thoroughly. And I think the fact that they're willing to drag this out so long, says a lot.
He believes the vehicle went into the lake driving forward, and by not sealing the vehicle before flipping it, this allowed her belongings to be flushed out through the broken and open windows.
I think it went in forwards. When you roll the vehicle over underwater, you already have the open windows. So the stuff that was already on the headboard now is flushed out. So that's what took place there. Yeah. So it got rolled over on its side, which is how the items that were found yesterday came out. It's definitely broken out. Definitely was broken out. The back window was halfway down. Back window. Yeah.
And he too questions the suspicion of the belt hanging out of the back.
Like that, but I see it, and that's really alarming. Like, how is that hanging out? Why is that hanging out? Like, that's not normal. That's far from normal.
He states that after more developments are released from law enforcement, they will then release more videos.
On this case, no. If there are certain developments in this case, yes, we definitely do have another episode that will come out. But that's we can't do that, or it's going to heavily compromise their investigation. So, we're at the end of the day, we work with law enforcement all across the nation. So we're going to help them as much as possible, as well as, continue with our purpose.
This is what Doug thinks is suspicious.
It's not just one thing, it's everything, every step of the way, everything. I mean, starting with before we even got there. I mean, just everything about it. If it looks like it, talks like it, walks like it, smells like it, tastes like it, I mean, things just eventually overwhelmingly add up. And then when we're in there in that moment, and there's just an energy, vibe that just can't be explained. It's like I said, it's just overwhelming to us what we were dealing with. We are not going to move on as a public. I think that in this case, it's just too much suspicion involved to accept that. but they'll come out with those answers and either corroborate or refute things or announce arrests and suspects and so forth.
He explains the credibility of the road assistance guy.
Everything about his story was verified, and then, as far as with us, it was verified. We didn't.
I wonder what he means by everything was verified.
He became a part of his story because of his credibility. Anyone who dismisses him as not being credible is wrong, 100%. You got to think that we wouldn't have went there if it wasn't. And 90% of what we talked about obviously hasn't been shown and won't be shown unless there are certain developments in this case. But he's definitely credible and awesome young man, and he's just became part of what it is that we do. Who he identified and all of that. It's he did. He knew what he was talking about, and in those identifications, we were confident in what he was saying.
The possibility of it not being Kiely during that stop.
I'm not trying to draw any unnecessary heat on anybody else, but she's not the only blonde girl in California. So could it very well have been somebody else? Yeah. And then you have him describing very, very mysterious behavior. That's weird. That's really weird. And you guys, as the public, I'm speaking, have put it out there better than we have. Like, why were they standing on each side of the vehicle? How come they couldn't stand together? And there's explaining this weirdness. Was it her? Could it have been somebody else? And were they trying to stop somebody from going to the back of the vehiel?
That's what we're all thinking. A lot of us are thinking.
Yeah, and that's a possibility. I'm not saying this to just take everybody further down the rabbit holes. I myself don't know. Like, what was that? How else do you explain two people that won't stand on the same side of the car with each other? And if he went to one side, the other would go to the other, and so forth. What are they doing at that point? They're trying to stop somebody from going to the back of the vehicle. You also have to understand that this young man is a week later walking into a store, seeing a flyer, and boom, he understands what he saw and what happened with him out there, and is putting it all together. So I think there might be room for error in the female per se, and or the male. Everybody wants to talk about one individual, because of that hat. How many millions of those hats have been sold? This is California. That's a very popular style of hat amongst young people. So I think getting lost in that just the hat itself, could be inaccurate.
But
and he believes that stop happened on the Saturday after she went missing.
If you had to choose between which day you think he saw her, do you think it was Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
And he cannot provide any information on what clothing she may have been wearing when her vehicle was discovered.
A lot of people are asking this. I'm not sure if you could answer this, but did she have clothes on?
Zav has such a great spirit about her. There's a reason why so many people are watching her coverage of this story. So hey Miss Linda, thank you so much for the super chat. You said, tell her I stayed with you and muted my TV. My Ohio State Buckeyes won 77-21. They're killing it. Thanks for an interesting stream, and take care of yourself. I'm trying to. I am trying to. Thank you. Thank you for your super chat.
I cannot answer that. Sorry.
Can you answer if she had shoes on?
I cannot.
No.
Did they say she has one shoes on? And if she was clothed, wouldn't you say clothed? Wouldn't you say, yeah, she was clothed? And if she was not clothed, wouldn't you say, sorry, no, she's not clothed? Or no, sorry, I can't answer that.
Oh, okay. Autumn,
I want to. It's just that I have to protect their investigation, and I'm not trying to interfere with anything that they have going on.
He explains he needs to stay professional, that the light will overcome the darkness, and we are witnessing evil.
it's not going to benefit us by getting ugly. You know, we don't have to. At the end of the day, you know, what happens in the dark will come out to light. It may take some time, but you know, it's just we have to maintain a level of professionalism too. So, you know, there were no agreements or anything, just an understanding. You know, there's answers that aren't produced until this is closed. Unfortunately, this is just, you know, it's just a, you know, a necessary evil, unfortunately.
So I want to switch gears now and play some of Plunder's video that she released today. In this video, Plunder is saying that she had a conversation with somebody who's a family member of Kiely, Rodni. And so I thought, let's just play it and react together.
Was going, you know, she can't even post a video being in the hot tub with her friend, hugging her, saying goodbye, using the LLK hashtag, and I don't know, just because people expect her to be somber the entire time. The family member will touch on Sammy's attitude at the celebration of life as well. Yesterday, which would have been Thursday, September 15th, the family member, this anonymous but verified family member of Kiely's, updated us. Of course, she doesn't want Lindsay to find out who is writing this. I believe it's a woman. She's been verified according to the Facebook administrator as a relative. So she wrote an update post, like she promised. The family member said, "Hello, I posted last."
I can't find what Facebook group she's talking about. I sent her a message. I'm hoping she'll tell me.
Week about if there was any evidence that points towards Kiely's death being an accident. All of you showed up with theories and yes, some validations of my own suspicions. This is long, but I promised an update. And while not a lot has been provided from law enforcement in the last week or so, I can offer some insight on where people stand, how some are grieving, and some of the inner dynamics I noticed. She said, "I understand why everyone is so upset about the media statement put out on Saturday." So I think when she says media statement put out, I think she's just referencing the Nevada County Sheriff's Office when they said, "Our office continues to receive many questions about the case of Kiely Rodni. While the investigation is still active, we can share that we are the lead investigative agency. We continue to work in partnership with CHP, the Major Accident Investigations Team, and the FBI. We are currently waiting for the final autopsy report, which will include the cause of death and toxicology findings. Our communication with the family is ongoing to ensure they receive any pertinent updates, and our investigators continue to follow up on any investigative leads we receive. We ask that our community continue to support the Rodni family during their time of need. Perhaps next week, the findings we get will just be preliminary, and then maybe by November 1st, we'll get the full report. I expect it to be probably 21 pages, at least around there."
Guys, I sped this video up quite a bit. If it's too fast, I can slow it down a little bit. Whenever I watch videos, typically I make them faster. If it's not music. Like if people are talking, I listen to a lot of sermons in my spare time. That's what I enjoy doing. I fast forward, I make them faster. So if it's too fast, let me know. I'll slow it down just a tad bit. But I want to still keep it. It's on 1.5. I'll make it 1.25.
So, to continue with the family member, she said, "I totally understand. It's frustrating and to some insulting of the work everyone online has put in. After all, the true crime community reached out to AWP and helped bring Kiely home, forced law enforcement to gather her belongings from the water. Social media has kept Kiely's name out there. And though I don't agree with the sentiment by some of the family and a large part of the community, I am grateful to you all. I don't believe silence is honorable. It's not true, and the many cases solved due to online sleuthing prove that." So that was obviously a direct response to Lindsay, Kiely's mom, stating there's honor in silence. I found that quote, it was actually a Rumi quote when I used to follow Deepak Chopra before I really got saved by Jesus. It's a Rumi quote. I noticed Lindsay didn't read the whole thing, but the whole thing would have said something like, "Be silent, there's honor in silence." But this family member is saying, "I don't believe silence is honorable," and it's not true. So she's saying, look, there's a time to be silent, I'm sure, but just maybe not in this way, or maybe Lindsay stated her intentions in a way that was misconstrued, I'll say, to be kind. The family member said, "Number 2, but there is honor in kindness, though." She said, and that's the double-edged sword here. "I've seen so much anger and negativity at Lindsay, and I heard some really scary stories and saw some unhinged posts." I know what she means here. People trying to show up, call the lodge, doxing other family and community members. So that is scary. "That's scary," she wrote. "I know social media is a force for good overall, but the social media frenzy has brought out some really bad characters, indeed." It's why Grandpa Dave asked everyone to leave them alone, why Lindsay asked everyone to let Kiely rest, why media was asked to leave on Saturday, and why much of the town is hoping to let it go and move on. They are only seeing the hateful comments and not the sympathetic posts. They have received a lot of support within their.
Again, guys, she's reading and sharing her thoughts on a message that came from one of Kiely Rodni's family members. And then there's some things that she says is very important. I mean, they're talking about, there's some things I think that you're going to want to hear. They're talking about the mom's reaction, why she doesn't want people on social media. There's a lot that she says that I think that you're going to find really interesting.
Own community. So that's where trust lies. And the more hateful comments, the more it poisons the well. Now social media has become an entity that attacks and hurts them. Boy, I get that. That's really sad. When she talks about unhinged behavior, yes, some people don't know boundaries and they see a person on TV or online. Some people, unfortunately, develop a parasocial relationship. They think they know that person. It probably doesn't help that Lindsay lives in the Lost Trail Lodge. It's kind of a popular place nearby or wherever, but a place where people can try and find and call and get to. Some people from the beginning have really, like I said, gone in unfairly on Lindsay. In my opinion, none of us are perfect parents. Of course, maybe people think, I would have done this differently. I would have done that differently. I would have stayed up all night. I wouldn't have let her go to the party. I wouldn't have given her so much responsibility. I just feel sorry for Lindsay. She's going to talk about her deep grief. But people, they try and resolve their own personal problems. Like, I think that's why folks are going in so hard on Sammy.
What she says here is so important, and I agree.
Sammy might be whatever, but again, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt, and there are things that might look sketchy, but I'm not going to just go in and dog out this young lady. You see a lot of vitriol coming at Sammy and Lindsay and even Jagger and even other friends. Sometimes people start replacing.
Guys, we're up to 71 super stickers. We were trying to get to the 100. I don't know if we're going to get there before the end of this stream, but Amy's our super sticker train conductor if any of you guys want to hop aboard.
Placing these folks as characters in their brain, maybe to them, Lindsay becomes their own irresponsible mom. So that's why the hate really comes out. Or Sammy becomes the cute girl who stole your boyfriend in high school. And so maybe that's where all that hate comes out. People get into these cases, they cross boundaries.
I've been saying this from the beginning, the very same thing. She articulates it differently than me. But just because you had a bad experience in high school or something like that, it doesn't mean that now's the time for you to cross-pollinate what happened in your personal life with what's happening in this story. And that's what a lot of people do.
And so maybe that's where all that hate comes out. People get into these cases, they cross boundaries instead of waiting and not contacting the family and not doxing people and not running with theories as facts. For example, Jagger posted a couple of TikToks apparently on August 5th. And we can't see where he is. I did question his song choice, and he stated, oh, that's just a popular TikTok song. I was reading into the lyric, always on my own, I'm alone, can you help me or something? He stated, look, that's just a popular TikTok car song. And I verified, yeah, a lot of people use this to go with their car videos on TikTok. I just take it as matter of fact until law enforcement or someone tells me differently. Certain things you just got to treasure in your heart because we can't make these people guilty in our minds without evidence. So some man is saying, Jagger was stalking Kiely. Looks like his car, looks like it could have been by that tunnel near Lost Trail Lodge. He must have been stalking her. We don't have evidence of that. If you're able to point out in a video, see, here is the street sign, or here's this specific evidence that proves Jagger was there, then it's just, and there's nothing wrong with theories, but we just can't present theories as facts. And I might give you a lot of theories, but I'm not presenting them as facts. So I see why people in Truckee, tight-knit community, maybe not huge with social media because of being more where they are, mountain people. I can see why social media would look like this monster if folks are attacking them from the get-go, attacking Lindsay, the worst time in her life, losing her daughter, and then who needs to hear vitriol at that point? You feel bad enough, I'm sure. Number 3. The family member wrote, please know Lindsay is grieving. Tony is grieving, and we all are. So Tony is Kylie's stepdad, she wrote, Lindsay is devastated, and I admit I regret some of my earlier anger at the family. I may have been lashing out too, and that wasn't helpful or kind. I believed they were being naive, and while I believe that still, in some ways, defending the teens, the pain and the emotion are very real. This woman is saying, yeah, she lashed out, she feels bad because, it's like, come on, do something, wake up, demand justice for Kiely, bang down the law enforcement's door and come on. She's saying, I think they're still being a little naive in defending all these teenagers, but their pain and their emotion is real. And we have to realize Lindsay might feel like she needs to mother these teenagers. In her grief, Lindsay might be feeling, oh no, I didn't protect Kiely. I better protect Sammy and Jagger and Kate and all these other people since I couldn't protect Kiely in the way I wanted to. The family member said, with the speech she made at the podium and the song she sang, you could feel the heartbreak. That was a powerful song. Lindsay's voice is powerful. She's broken, but trying to rebuild. So everyone almost needs to believe it's an accident. It's not the way to cope, but anyone who's lost a child knows there's no healthy way to cope with this. The more people attack the family and community, the more they dig their heels in and band together, reinforcing beliefs. It will be very difficult to budge there. So I understand that now. I get it. The community might, for several reasons, want to believe it was an accident because, first off, they don't want anyone else to have to go down for this. They don't want anyone else to lose their lives.
I think it's a great point of what she's saying. Let's see how we're doing on Super Sticker Train. We have Mountain Kayaker. We have Patty DeVilla. Thank you, Patty. We have Renee saying, come on, everybody, hop on board the train. Thank you. We have Lisa. We have Stacy. And we have Lily. That puts us at 76. Thanks, guys.
Or their livelihoods. It's easier, it's heartbreaking, but it's easier to think of Kiely being a solo person who acted incorrectly and maybe was too inebriated to drive, drove herself into Prosser Creek, and that's it. Case closed. No one else has to be questioned. No one has to go to jail. So it's easier to believe that in order to spare Lindsay and everyone else sorrow upon sorrow, like the Apostle Paul wrote in the Bible. Sorrow upon sorrow would be not only Kiely losing her life, but imagine if cops come back and say foul play was involved. There are other people who have to lose their freedom if that's the way it goes. So it makes sense for the community to say, we don't want all this attention, especially on our kids. We don't want this criticism of our parenting, of our behavior. We don't want any of our kids to get in trouble or arrested. We don't want them involved. We don't want this long, protracted, international attention-getting trial. If it goes that way, of course, many people don't want that limelight. They don't want that exposure. People who likely move to that area or live in that area, especially like where Lindsay lived, don't mind being remote. They seek out the solitude. I remember reading the Lost Trail Lodge through their posts. One of them, it may have been Tony, had written, just leave yourself. This was years ago, but had written, just leave your cell phone in the car because it won't work anyway. So it's really one of those places where you go to unplug. Sometimes those roads are so snowed in, you can't go anywhere else. There are people who obviously live there to get away, not to be the center of this international missing girl or crime case. Number 3, the family member wrote, she attended the celebration of life and apparently some private ceremony for the family. She wrote, it's true, AWP and Check It TV were not thanked. Not only did they not thank AWP who found Kiely and her CRV, they did not thank the YouTuber Check It TV who found Kylie's MacBook and other items. She continued, I didn't expect them to be, but it was odd and disappointing to hear even law enforcement be praised, but not the divers. So yeah, that's real weird. Praising law enforcement, that's fine, but you can't even say thank you to AWP and Check It TV. I think once this plays out, maybe the grief abates a bit and the scales fall from some eyes. I think people will regret not thanking Adventures with Purpose. I think some people might regret not thanking Adventures with Purpose. Maybe they'll see it differently. Folks won't refer to them so derisively like, oh, it's turning into a reality TV show and it's like a little movie and all that stuff you've heard people say about them, where again, the proof is in the pudding. They found Kiely. So she continued, but just a little insight, it was social media and agencies that asked AWP to come, not the family. I don't believe anyone expected them to find her car. to a lot of community members over the weekend, and there were more people than I thought that suspect foul play, and some family members. So, woo, this family member is saying when she got to Truckee, she spoke to a lot of community members over the weekend. There were more people than she thought that suspect foul play in Kiely's case, and even some family members. She's
Guys, some of the family thinks there's foul play. Speaking of foul play, we got a triple play by Renee. A boom, 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 boom. We're at 76. That takes us to 79. Thank you, Renee. That takes us to 80. You say, come on, let's write it. Well, it'd be interesting if we get 20 more super chats in the next 5 minutes.
said that was so relieving. So yeah, she might have thought, oh, I'm the only one, like, you know, Elijah, I'm the only one left, God of your prophets. And then you say, no, look, there's 700, and, you know, there's 700 a remnant over here that haven't bowed the knee to Baal. You know, like when you think you're alone, but then you meet your tribe and you're like, whoa. So this woman must have gone out west. Obviously, she lives somewhere else. I kind of have a suspicion who I think it might be, but I won't say. This woman may have been thinking, I'm here in a metropolitan city and I'm like thinking in a different viewpoint than the Truckee folks. But she gets to Truckee and figures out, whoa, there's others like me who are thinking it could be foul play. And that makes sense because sometimes you will only hear a person's real true feelings when you speak to them in person, not on camera. You know, even on YouTube, we can't get on here and just spout off at the mouth about how we really feel because no one wants a defamation lawsuit. And, you know, here when you're presenting, you have to wait and you have to get facts. You can speculate, but everyone has to say allegedly and you can't go too far. But she wrote, that was so relieving. As you've all said, Biodad, Dan, has suspicions. That's caused a rift. And there hasn't been a ton of communication between Lindsay and Dan. I think we could see that with their body language. He didn't speak at the podium or to Lindsay. I shared my worries. He mentioned he was at Prosser with Check It TV on Friday. He is still looking for answers, and I believe he will keep fighting and searching. So indeed, Check It TV, he's put up new footage. Go over there, please check it out. You see him just amazingly with some flippers on, just taking Kiely's stuff, you know, getting her MacBook out the creek. I mean, it's closed, and then he's opening it, and it looked kind of perfect on the inside. Just getting stuff as much as he can with what little he had. Check It TV did mention, I believe it was Kiely's grandpa had asked him. It was Kiely's grandpa, I believe, that asked Check It TV, I'll even pay you to go down there and, you know, see if you can find more stuff, which is just so heartbreaking to know that there wasn't follow-up there. This family member wrote, I do need to clear this up though. Kiely did not grow up with Dan. She was raised by Lindsay and Kiely's maternal grandparents. That's why Kiely was so close with her grandparents.
So it sounds like she didn't have a relationship with her dad at all. Hey, Mo Mouse, my PayPal is Tyler Feller. So if you just go to tylerfeller.com, there's a button that says donate on the very front homepage. That will allow you to donate on PayPal. Renee, thank you. 81, I think. If you guys haven't done so yet, would you please hit the like button real fast?
Grandpa, you know? She wrote, he's always been off the grid, and it was just Lindsay until years later when she met Tony. If I were to guess, Dan and Lindsay not being on the same page may have caused more friction, and Dan wasn't around much of Kiely's life. I'm not saying anything about his rights as a parent. Please believe I'm just giving insight into what the relationship is. It's not great. Some people mentioned there were barely any photos of him in the slideshow, which is true. If there's one person that is willing to dig deeper, it is Biodad. So that answered a lot of my questions. From the beginning, I was like, wait, where's Kiely's dad? And then we saw Tony, the stepdad, with Lindsay. Eventually, we saw Daniel Rodni, Kiely's bio dad. He showed up and he spoke out at that one community meeting. And the way he said, she's your daughter too. These are your kids going to these parties. It was almost as if it was still eloquent, but it was almost as if he was abdicating responsibility. Or you could tell there was some distance there by him saying, she's your daughter too. There wasn't the I don't know, there wasn't the closeness of my daughter. Now, I don't know if they really were very close, but I applaud him for digging for the truth. You know, we all have regrets. So maybe Kiely's bio dad had regrets. Maybe, of course, he thought probably I'll have years to build a relationship with her closer. I don't know how close they already were. I mean, I see Kiely used the Kiely N Neiman name on her SoundCloud a year ago. So I'm not sure if she was trying to take on Tony's name and letting go of the Rodni part of her. I don't know what that was about, but it brings so many issues to life. If Kiely was longing for a closer relationship with her bio dad, and I don't know, this is all conjecture based on what this family member has said. Could that have played into some of her longing and some of her lyrics and some of her, if she was troubled? And Daniel, Rodni, now maybe he's really going for the truth because maybe it's his way to make up for the years he thought he would have had with her. And it makes sense of why we could see there's some kind of friction going on because we saw Kylie's grandpa at the shore, which is Lindsay's dad, and we saw Daniel, her bio dad, there, but we didn't see a lot of cohesiveness between Lindsay and Daniel, her ex. And, you know, stuff happens. But number 4, the family member wrote, there were so many other things, but some of the conversations could reveal me. I can answer some questions, but I'm being cautious. I'll end with something about Kiely, though. I think what's made this whole case so difficult is that I feel like her life was cut so short, she barely had a chance to start living, is what I thought. I see that was untrue. Kiely traveled all over, exploring the Galapagos Islands, swimming in bioluminescent waters, witnessing lava flow into the sea in Hawaii, fiddle playing in Ireland, visiting the ruins of Pompeii, and so much more. Kiely experienced more in her 16 short years than many will experience in their whole lives. That gave me slight comfort to know she was happy, she was loved, and she lived life to the fullest she could. It doesn't mean it wasn't cut short. It doesn't mean we should let it go. It doesn't mean we should give up the search. She was taken too soon.
The only thing that bothers me, it's like, I don't know if she had a relationship with Jesus. And to me, that's the most important thing. I talk in depth about that on my stream from last night called What Happens When You Die. Missy Miss says, great job covering this. Thank you so much. I'm trying my best over here. I'm doing my best over here to cover it well. Hey, Renee, thank you again for just coming in hot. 8283. Trace, there's just so much wrong with this case. I actually couldn't agree more. There's a lot wrong with this case, and it's hard to unpack it all. And I don't think we should give up because there's justice that's attached to it. So I'm grateful for all of you guys that are watching this video, just for the fact that you care about making sure there's justice in this case. Thank you for your super chat. Renee, Linda, that takes us to 85. We might get there, guys. We might get to the 100 goal.
Unwillingly. I don't know what unwillingly meant. Like she maybe thinks, yeah, it really was not Kiely doing this to herself. And there needs to be a reputable investigation, which has not happened in my opinion, but I don't want people to think she was miserable or trying to run away. She was cherished, she was kind, and I know justice will come one way or another. Even if it's an accident, the truth always reveals eventually. I won't give up, but I respect what the family has asked. I won't hound them for information. I'm sorry if that disappoints any of you. Thank you, sleuths. I will update soon. She came back and replied to a few comments. Before we go through those, let's read Philippians 3:12. Not that I have already obtained it, this goal of being Christ-like, or have already been made perfect, but I actively press on so that I may take hold of that perfection for which Christ Jesus took hold of me and made me his own. It's kind of like you got to find your purpose. Why are we here? What are we here for? Someone complimented the family member on it being so well written and all Kiely's life experiences. This woman had also attended the celebration of life. And so the family member said, oh, really? I'm glad you were able to come. It was very unique, unlike any memorial I've been to. Too bad about all the terrible smoke, but it didn't keep anyone from singing. I do believe it's something Kiely would have loved. And the person commented, well, at least the smoke stayed away for most of it. There was a lovely cool breeze during most of the memorial. I came away with an appreciation of their community. I've always loved Truckee. I've always enjoyed Truckee, and now I love it even more. The family member said, wasn't that interesting? The smoke cleared for those few hours and returned directly after. Some of the more faith-driven family members said it was a gift from Kiely. This family member wrote, I'm not religious and I was a wreck that day, but I felt like maybe it was. There was a lot of love there. I do hope this doesn't scare anyone off from visiting. So a lot of people had noticed all the smoke, I guess, in the back from fires and such in the area or nearby. And even during the live, people were like, oh no, be careful, make sure, people were thinking, is that fog? What is that back there? But apparently it was smoke. Another woman who's trying to create a spreadsheet of facts left a comment. The family member said, oh, thank you so much. I mentioned to Bio Dad that a group was hard at work gathering information. He's not on social media. Depending on which direction this goes, it could be helpful for the potential PI if we decide to go that route. Thank you. I wish I had your organizational skills. So it's good this woman who is really working hard at building, facts. What are the facts we know that we can put together in a spreadsheet? And this family member, if it goes whatever way, and if she or the bio dad decide to hire a PI to dig further, it could really be helpful. Someone asked, oh no, did anyone in this group ask you to hound the family for answers? We aren't supposed to go real life, especially with Kylie's parents. And the family member said, oh, no worries. No one in this group asked. I meant the family is dealing with trauma, and I'm honestly nervous to ask too many questions. People were holding on by a thread and just not in the right space to share information. I apologize if the word hounding came off as accusatory. It wasn't intentional. I very much appreciate you all. Keep being kind like Kiely.
Renee, thank you. You said you always do a good job. I try my best. Thank you. 87. Pamela, thank you. 88. Latrice, thank you. 89. Renee in North Carolina. Other Renee, 90. Thank you guys so much. We're up to 90 now. Jeremy says, hey, Tyler, do you do online counseling? I would like to talk if that's available. So our ministry, actually, some of what this super chat goes to is we pay for a counselor that meets with people who are part of our ministry here on YouTube. Her schedule is booked for all next week because we're going to be doing living room tour and stuff, but stay tuned and join our Feller Fem Facebook group, and then you can sign up that way. So I don't personally do it, but because I'm just not that good at it, but we do pay for someone that does that. So thank you. 91. Thank you, Becky. 92. Renee, thank you. Other Renee, thank you. Renee, North Carolina, thank you. What is that? 91, 2, 3, 4. 95, 96. Thank you, guys. 96. Thank you guys so much.
People were thanking her for her kind words and everything and saying just we should cut people some slack when they are in deep grief. That poor mom has been the whipping post this entire time. Some people going so far as to throw accusations. So again, thanks for being the voice of reason. I've seen some stuff where some people are actually accusing Kylie's mom. There's some crazy stuff out there. Like, it's one thing to speculate. It's another thing to really go off the deep end with really hurtful theories, such as Kiely not being a real person. I mean, that's just hurtful to someone who has lost the love of their life, just the fruit of their being. This family member said, I really had no idea how bad it was until I spoke with her. So she means until she spoke with Lindsay, she didn't know how bad the grief was. But she's fierce and a warrior. She's been through so much even before all this. I mostly wanted to make the post to give insight of Truckee and the family. I wanted to tell their side. Saying mind your business or leave us alone isn't going to encourage social media to leave you alone. Providing clear information and doing it kindly, that's going to get through to people. I don't know why things have gotten so chaotic online these last few days, but I do feel protective of the family and I want to help them if I could. I hope this helped you all as well. Thank you to all the moderators. You are all stellar at what you do. Another person wrote, I'm local. I've been searching since the beginning.
I think that's phenomenal that a family member wrote all that. Hey, Lisa. You're 90. Where am I at? 7. Denise, you're 98. Thank you so much for that super sticker. Godzilla Whisper, you're number 99. I could totally see it being an accident. Came out of poor choices on behalf of the kids. But I feel silence lies in politics of the land trust. That's the fear that I think a lot of people are having. Like, is there a political undertone or aspect that's happening here that's causing us to feel like maybe there's some corruption or something, unfortunately? I could totally see it being an accident too. I'm leaning towards foul play though. Thank you for your super chat. Bargain shopping, you're number 100. Renee, North Carolina, Miss Linda, you guys are just bonus. Cherry on top. Lily, bargain shopping. Thank you guys so much. Like 104. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. Appreciate you guys. It's been a long stream for me. I'm turning into Zav Girl. I go on her panel and now I'm like for somehow streaming way longer than normal. What a run on our super sticker train today, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget, we do have the best smelling, best tasting coffee in all of America. It's called Movement Coffee. All of this money goes into our nonprofit, which supports everything that we have, that we do here. And so if you drink coffee, I would just ask, maybe try supporting us with this coffee. www.movement-coffee.com. We have 2 flavors. We have vanilla bean, and we also have chocolate covered cherry. If you order it, I'll get into the mail on Monday. Bargain shopping. Thank you. Bargain shopping. Thank you. I love those stickers you're picking out. Thank you so much. Appreciate them. I do have a book that I wrote called Don't Stop. It's about learning to see your fears and failures as struggles. Learn to see your failures and struggles as opportunities. Don't stop. Pick up this if you're interested. You can go to childfather.com and just click on Don't Stop book. Hey, don't get off of here. Let me pray over you before we end the stream. So, Father, in the name of Jesus, I thank you for every single person that you've gathered in our midst today. And Father, your word says, if 2 or more gathered in your name, you're in our midst. So we know that you're here. And I bless every single person on this stream with your grace, your hope, your sufficiency, your power. And I just speak rest over them tonight, Jesus. They'll have great rest in you. I cancel every assignment of the enemy to capture their dreams with nightmares. And I just declare in the name of Jesus over them blessing, good dreams, and deep sleep in the name of Jesus. Amen. Again, if you guys want to support on PayPal, it's Tyler Feller. Cash App, that is my number 1 favorite way for people to give because there's no fees attached to it all. It's $ Tyler Feller 22 or Venmo, which is at Tyler-Feller. Momal says, congratulations on 50K. I know it's such a momentous occasion. I wish I had like a huge party to celebrate, but never happened. But we did a celebration online, and I'll count that. I was just so excited that we crossed that 50,000 threshold, and thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for your support. Hey guys, you're so awesome, and I just honor you and bless you, and I'm grateful to know you. Thank you for your support. One thing that you can do as soon as I end this stream that's extremely helpful, when this broadcast ends, hit the refresh button and then go and leave a comment on the video. That is so helpful if you can do that. Thanks for watching.